sipping, I'm 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 sipping.
Sipping, I'm 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 sipping.
This is Sippin' with Sammie. I am Sippin' with Sammie, Sam Malone, Barstool, Rug. If you ain't sipping with Sammie, you ain't sipping right. Please get your fucking life together. And I got Sav with me.
Yo, I'm in the building.
And today, as y'all see, we have the honor of a special guest that provided by the brick. So I'm gonna let you do the honors.
Yes, this is my girl.
Yes. Hey.
So amazing. My girl Shaneen Speaks, legendary, got some amazing things going on, did some amazing things, and we are going to get into it.
Yes, absolutely.
So
what
how
camera
are you?
I'm looking at?
You're not. You just.
Oh, I'm just talking. Oh, all right. I like this. All right,
It's
so let's
wide
just
open.
talk. All right. How am I?
How are you?
I'm doing well. I love you guys' podcast, by the way. This show is dope. The studio is dope. So just so y'all know, you got to come in here. You got to get your guests in here. I know you guys have some cool people coming through.
Absolutely.
This setup is really dope, y'all.
Like yourself.
Thank you.
I was about to say I appreciate you pulling up. Because,
yes.
You know, everybody's busy and sometimes it's more convenient to Zoom. But it's better to have the energy and to be able to do this. One time.
Chink.
See, you can't do that over the Joe. It'd be fake toasted.
Absolutely. I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely. So,
what's up?
How do you two guys know each other?
Oh my gosh.
So it's funny because I feel like, first of all, we've known each other for forever, and we should have known each other for forever.
So many different circles.
Similar to you and I, like, although we didn't go to school together, we grew up like a block away from each other.
Literally.
Out West Philly, on my mom's side, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and some of our families like grew up, like she grew up next door to like some of my family members. Like, it's just crazy. So, you know how the West Philly thing goes.
I'm about to say that's West
So
Philly.
we should have already known each other. But however it is, you know, we still crossed paths a few years ago when I was in the organization that we were in together. And from the moment that she sat next to me her first day, like, we just clicked. And instantly. And she didn't even really stay in the organization that long.
Absolutely not.
But
I think I know this organization.
It's not important.
It's really not. And that's not even the story. The story is that how our connection and how our bond grew from just a moment of sitting next to each other.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you connected with a lot of other people from the organization.
No, there were about 2 others that I could say, maybe 2 or 3 others that I've connected since then. But other than that, no, it was bogus.
That's not bad numbers though. You come out 2, 3, 4 people ahead.
And she was
out of a situation, like, you can't ask for much more than that.
I guess. I mean, I've been a part of other organizations.
I mean, as far as a better situation, possibly, but you could be in something for years and don't vibe with none of them people.
That is true.
But you know, when you bring substance, people of substance know the substance. You know?
It's a magnetic.
Right. Exactly. So, but that's how we got to know each other, and we just built the bond from there. She has an amazing show, Shaneen Speaks, that she invited me on, and it was so funny to rewatch it. Just as I watched our first interaction on camera, I loved it. I was like, "Oh my goodness! Like, that's me saying that! Like, me? I said that. I said I'm kind of cool."
Listen,
I sound kind of cool.
Yeah, so it was really dope. But she's doing some amazing things. But one thing I wanted to talk about was also some things that she has done.
Okay.
So talk about you were the first. To be the meteorologist.
The first African-American woman weather anchor.
Yes.
In the CSRA, which covers. Man. Yeah. So it basically the city.
So you know we talk
Augusta,
that talk.
Georgia.
We walk it too.
You know, we do. The city is Augusta, Georgia, but it also encompasses some parts of South Carolina as well. And I'm the first African-American woman weather anchor there, and I was there for about.
I've been in Augusta my whole life. I'm very familiar with Augusta.
Really? Oh my gosh, we could talk.
Her husband works for the Postal Service out there. He just retired recently, but he was out there the whole run.
Oh my gosh, ask her. I'm pretty sure she told her about me
Exactly.
for sure. Yes,
Exactly.
NBC 26. That was my station, and I was there, and I had an amazing time there. It came with some challenges, obviously.
I would think that's difficult. Like, out of all the things you do in front of the camera, I feel like the scrutiny for that is so much more.
But even just to hear that you're the first African-American woman to do that, you can understand the adversity that you might be faced with.
But imagine being the 60th, and every time you enunciate, your lips got to move a certain way. Like, I don't understand. Like, am I wrong? Because everybody on the news does that.
Well, okay, so there is a certain way that you have to personify yourself when you're on camera. But I don't know. I was a lot more relaxed. I brought a totally different flavor to news. And at first it was kind of rough because I did get some backlash at first, like even when it came down to the way I wore my clothes. Like I'm a Philly girl all day, so my clothes got to be right, my hair got to be laid. And I wanted you to be
simpler,
right absolutely, like simpler. Very basic, and I was never that. And they just always wanted me to wear like blazers, and I did, but I mean I color coordinated, and I just had a whole different pizzazz there on camera, as well as my personality. And so my news director, that's actually why he hired me. I didn't even know that I was the first black woman. He didn't tell me until I had to deal with a situation of like why I kept getting so much backlash, and I didn't understand. And he didn't even realize it at the moment. It was his wife.
Give me a heads up.
Exactly. It was his wife who brought it to his attention. Yeah, and he had to sit me down in the office. And he told me, he said, I understand that it's hard for you here because, I mean, you can only imagine, like, I really felt like I was back in the civil rights movement. I really did. And
Augusta, Georgia, news every morning. Oh my God, they have the masters here.
Oh my gosh, doing weather. I wasn't just reporting. I was doing weather. I was forecasting.
People tune in just for the weather.
Yeah, yeah, and it was a lot. And like just even I used to wear waist belts with my blazer to kind of give it a little style. And I had people writing in, and I had an actual producer pull me aside and tell me not to dress the way that I was dressing because I was going to make the white wives jealous because their husbands was going to like me.
That's part of morning TV though. That's part of daytime TV. That's part of morning TV.
Yeah,
that's a big factor in their thinking of their scheming of the things.
Yeah, is
that you have to make these women feel more comfortable because they're the ones that's the main audience.
That is the audience for morning television.
Wow.
But I mean, we're not really told that ideology. I don't know where she got that from or why she felt like she needed to tell me that. And that kind of turned me off from that particular producer at the time. But it honestly just made me turn up the styling gear because all I did was just continue.
Like once we acknowledge,
and it worked for me.
Once we acknowledge that your road is going to be a little rougher, then I kind of got to loosen up the reins a little bit for you to be a little more comfortable and free. Anyway, I would feel like it would have to be some kind of balance there. If you got any sense as the person that's above your position, and you know what I mean. The empathy came from the wife, obviously, but the follow-up is like, all right, now that you're aware of it.
And believe it or not, a lot of the wives loved me because, I turned that into a positive. I think
it's a misconception, but it's old school thinking. Like, that's really a morning, daytime TV thing. Like, don't intimidate the wives.
And it was fair. It was fair as me being a black woman as well.
That's what I was about to get to.
Yep.
But like you said, because it's a bias and a stereotype, I think also because of what you bring to the table, I think that it brings a reality to it. So I think it made them be a little more comfortable. Although the men, how did the men receive it?
They loved me. They did. I had a lot of good male viewers from 2012 to 2014.
Oh, they had memes about you.
Probably.
I hate you.
No, actually, the memes wasn't as popular.
They still had them, but
yeah, it was right before the memes. But yeah, they loved me. They all welcomed me, and the wives did as well because I turned that negative into a positive. I actually gave them inspiration. They loved my style,
and it should still be personality based.
It was.
If you bring the energy, then nothing else should really matter. There's some horrible people telling the weather.
Yeah.
Dressing like who knows if they even looked at it before they put it on.
No. That's true. So you do very well in those type of, I guess, environments, right? Because I guess I wanted to speak to some of the other things that you do. You're just like very well rounded.
Yes.
So in regards to some of the things you do today, you're also a stylist at Sex.
Yes.
Can we just talk about that a little bit?
Yes, a style influencer.
Yes. And that's also another environment that isn't as diverse as people would maybe visualize it to be.
It's becoming that way. for many different reasons. And now, like in our store particularly, we are becoming a lot more diverse. I'm actually a part of diversity, equity, and inclusion.
That's what I wanted to talk
about.
Yes,
I am the only African-American leader there. There's only one other person at the store, but I am the only brand marketing for subcommittee for diversity, equity, and inclusion. I'm the leader of the store for that particular subcommittee, and I love it. I like having the responsibility of making sure that, culturally we are all equal there and we're treated with respect. And I love it.
So you like a challenge, because I feel like you faced some adversity when you were down in Augusta.
Yeah.
And then now, was that a voluntary situation? Did you put yourself in that position?
In
How did that work
Augusta,
out?
Georgia?
No, the diversity and inclusion board here.
A little bit of both. I actually foresaw the need for DEI before the George Floyd situation kind of perpetuated all of that for a lot of the corporations. I actually been pushing for that since 2019. I actually got hired there in September of 2019. By December 2019, I was like, oh no, something got changed, because I couldn't believe just how just straightforward a lot of the thinking was. Narrow-minded some of the thinking was that was there in the environment at the time. And I reached out to management, I reached out to corporate, and I'm like, hey, something has to happen. And of course it took some time to develop. And with anything that comes with change or anything that comes with adding something new, it takes time. And so I feel like I started to kind of just say, it is what it is. I'll just keep doing my thing, which I was doing for my clientele and the promotion that I wanted to do. And a manager came to me and was just like, I think you need to do this. I really do. And at first I was just like, I'm done. I don't feel like fighting anymore. I'm over it. She was like, no, you need to do it. I submitted my application, and I think like 2 weeks later, I was awarded the title.
And then you had to basically create your own position. It's the first time anybody ever did it.
Exactly.
That's heavy.
My gosh,
but
yeah.
do you think that plays a part in why in our community a lot of times, especially among males, stylists get a bad name and a bad rep? Like if somebody says they have a stylist, it's like frowned upon.
Gotcha.
Especially from a hip hop point of view, like, and
why?
Even though most rappers that we look up to for fashion have somebody styling them, even Fab's wife is a stylist and a designer. You know what I mean? But it's like over time, it became a point where it was like, all right, so you rap, I'm gonna put you in the LV all over print. I'm gonna put you in all the G's, and you gonna look like a mannequin, but you gonna look like him. Y'all just gonna have different brands on.
Yeah.
Or you gonna have a yellow one, and you gonna have a green one, and it was just like cookie cutter, and it was like, I'm not even a Louis dude.
But I feel like that's when
even if I got Louis money, you know what I mean? I'm still a hoodie guy. Can't you find me a fly hoodie that don't have somebody's name all over it?
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? A flannel that makes sense. Like, it was like they started boxing us because it wasn't respect for what we were doing. It's like, oh, they like it baggy. Cool.
But I think those stylists also lack creativity if they cookie cutter you and put you all in the same box as everyone else.
But I think that overall, there's a multitude of things that made it where it was like, oh, you got stylists?
Right.
One of the
where
things
that's a luxury.
I don't know if that's the same thought, but go ahead.
No, I was going to say one of the things that I feel like people forget is that being a stylist and style has a lot to do with culture.
Absolutely.
And and that's just any culture. That's French culture, Italian culture, black culture, hip hop, whatever. And so
all
sometimes
of our styles
people lose
are based
sight
on
of that.
different cultures.
Absolutely.
No matter what culture we come from, the way we dress every day is based on a vision.
It's an expression, and that's what I put in my commercial. Like when I wanted to tell people that Saks Philadelphia was becoming very, very diverse. At least that was my initiative for the store, and I was just letting everyone know that this we embrace everybody. Come get your zhuzh on. Speak to you. Your personality is supposed to shine through your appearance. I can't stand being basic, and
I don't like safe dress
at all.
Like
and I don't think you have to be safe.
I don't like safe sneakers. I don't like safe coats. I don't like anything where it's like, I know that they gonna know that this is that, so that's why I'm gonna get it. Like, no, that's not even you.
Right.
I don't even like that. You pay $1,200 for them.
Yes. No, I'm the same way. I don't like. I don't really like anything basic, and people don't realize that you can still be, straight edge. You can still just kind of have a more of a simplistic look to you and not be basic. And I just wish more people understood that, but I'm trying.
And every level of fashion, every tier of fashion has every kind of look in it. There's high end grunge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to submit to anything. Just
Kanye
because,
is high end grunge.
I mean, That's kind of scary. But yeah,
it is though.
You're right. I mean, just the fact that the clothes look like slave clothes and the shoes look like slave shoes is like, yo.
That was the point. Like
this boy, man, he really dug into the history books to figure.
He did.
I can't.
Like, how many
really
styles
did.
you went past to go that far back and be like, I'm gonna make a line full of this.
They say history repeats itself.
I need a drink.
He went all the way back.
And then the Gap puts out an oversized bubble coat. And it sells out.
I can't with you.
Yeah.
That's my first. I'll get it in a second.
But this is fashion, though, and that's his choice. That's his decision. But it really, like, no matter what culture you come from, he's from Chicago.
Yeah.
And all of that. His vision went back to Birmingham.
Before it was Birmingham.
1620.
Right.
Like,
I ain't gonna lie though, I do like the Yeezys.
I think that they look like the most comfortable shoe. And I was saying during the verses last night, when they had all the, I don't know if y'all watched it, they had the breakdancers come out for one of the parts, of course, because it was Kane and Chris. Yeah. And I was like, I'm surprised none of them had their tracksuit on with Yeezys. I wonder if they was like, we gotta wear the old school Adidas, because Yeezys look like they good for breakdancing it. I'm dead serious. I wasn't trying to be funny.
I can see that. I get
very, very comfortable.
All that pivoting and pausing on the side of your foot.
Like, look, come on.
It feel like they built for that. Even the slides, the little Jones with all the holes in them. They
but
look
I
like
wonder
they built
if
to be stepped on the side of.
I wonder if they may not have the stability.
It's possible. Yeah. It's possible. Because I know, and at the end of the day, whatever you used to practice, and then you ain't going to put on some new shit and fall. It is what it is.
Exactly. Like, this is what we're going to use.
But ironically, I had that thought, like, is Yeezys better to breakdancing? I've never breakdanced in my life effectively. So I don't know.
I get it.
I don't know. Saf, you did the backspin before.
Yeah, I used to love it. Yo. Oh yeah, I used to love it. Them Yeezys probably, I love my Yeezys, so they probably are amazing sneaks to move in.
And this is just how random I am, because I really thought about it. Like, I was thinking about that last night.
Yeah.
I'm retarded.
So what they had on Adidas and all?
They had on, they had the regular Adidas tracksuits on, and they had on like top 10s, and I don't even think I seen Shells. I think I seen top 10s. Oh really? Mm-hmm.
Shells not real comfortable dancing sneakers.
Shells aren't comfortable sneakers at all.
They're not.
They're not comfortable sneakers at all. And people lose because you'll get a job and they'll be like, you need a black shoe, and then you'll buy shell tops. And then you broke and stuck in these black shoes on your feet for the next paychecks.
Not
you should have got some Skechers.
Yeah, you should have got some Skechers. They work shoes. You should have, because them shells was not
Clarks.
The move.
Yeah.
Some Clarks.
Them stretches was not, them Jones was not
I worked in kitchens. They make them cheesy no-slip shoes in every style. Yeah. Every style. You can get you an airbag, you can get you a Chuck, you can get you any of them. You gotta order them bitches.
I was about to say, if it's work related, you can make it work. Joints. You can make it work. I mean, it's times when like I would be on the floor and I had on Dankskos. Yeah, and look, and I was rocking it with my Subi. I was rocking it with my Versace. It is what it is. Right. Look, my feet hurt. I gotta see and help y'all. Leave me alone.
Isn't that the main? Ain't that the main part of just being dressed in general is how you carry it?
Absolutely.
And not overdoing it.
We do that all the time, by the way.
Why wear shoes? Why wear shoes that you can only wear for 5 minutes? Why not find something that fits what you're capable of pulling off?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And pull it off.
Exactly, because yeah, some people just don't.
I've even seen some people I saw somebody recently on social media, like, and they had like one of the cheapest outfits on ever, but she was like, I can make cheap work, and it was really cute.
Yes.
So again, it's like you don't have to wear labels and all just because it is what it is. Like, do what you do.
Exactly. Did you see the girl on Instagram who did the Beyonce look with the green dress with from everything from the thrift store under $16? And when I tell you, she looked amazing. Yeah.
But see,
you can make it work.
That's real talent.
Yeah.
That's like my man that was making designer shit in jail. Like, that's real talent. Like you deserve, somebody need to be hollering at you with a big bag.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because if you could do that much with so little, I got so much more little shit for you to tend to.
Exactly. But I wish more corporations thought that way. Just about like any and everything in general. They don't realize just how much they miss out.
You see what Dapper Dan went through. It's a 50-year trek for Dapper Dan, and he got a subsidiary of a, and I mean, whatever, it's a look, but Dapper Dan, y'all was stealing his shit.
Listen.
You know what I mean? Like, imagine being that guy.
I mean, people used to walk around calling somebody like like they took his whole name and like.
Listen, all I'm gonna say,
like that's a thing.
All I'm gonna say is I wish I could say more, but I understand. Maybe eventually I'll be able to speak on a lot more, but yeah, that is definitely
that's why you gotta
a
run
thing.
your race though. Yeah.
Absolutely. You just gotta keep going.
But yeah, so I wanted to also get back to Shaneen Speaks though.
Okay.
Let's get to that.
Let's talk about Shaneen Speaks.
All right.
What is Shaneen Speaks? Yeah, let's start off with that. What is Shaneen Speaks?
Shaneen Speaks is a myriad of things, but most of all, she's a personality. She's a media personality. Mm-hmm. She encompasses everything media. I've been in media since I was 14 years old. Mm-hmm. I started off in weather. I was trained in weather forecasting starting at 14. Glenn Hurricane Swartz I call him my weather dad. So he trained me since I was 14 years old.
Hurricane Swartz trained you?
Central alumni.
I was 14.
That's a Central
shout out to Glenn. Hey, Glenn. I know he's probably gonna be cracking
He's
up.
the man.
Yes.
On the com, that's that dude.
Yes. Hey,
Yes.
weather dad. He has trained me since I was 14.
Central alumni.
He definitely just took me under his wing, and I started there. And he not only did he teach me how to forecast, but he taught me how to build graphics. He taught me how to just weather produce. So I knew a lot from there. And then I've been a part of NABJ.
Right.
So I learned all kinds of like producing. So anything that has to do with media, I've pretty much tapped into it at some point when it comes to behind the scenes, on camera, television, radio, writing. I encompass it all. So Shaneen Speaks is the person that embodies all of that. Mm-hmm. And so you can get her in any way that you want her, in any setting when it relates to media. So that's who she is.
I love it.
I like that.
She said a lot.
When you said Shaneen Speaks, I'm thinking, all right, the show.
Right.
What's a brand? There's a whole.
No, it's Sippin with Sammie.
Exactly.
It's
right.
the same shit. Like, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Like, the on camera, off camera, it's still the same thing.
Absolutely.
Well, I should say on my camera, on others' cameras.
Right.
Yeah.
Still the same thing.
Yeah, the show is called the Shaneen Speaks Talk Show. Mm-hmm. Shaneen Speaks is who I am, because that's just one piece of it. But absolutely, it's just whatever you need in media, Shaneen Speaks will get that to you.
Mm-hmm. Sippin with Sammie, the podcast.
Absolutely. See,
yes,
when dope people get together.
No, that's why I liked it. I was like, oh, she talk like me about this shit.
And she knows a lot of the people, like the same people that we know too. To
I'm
be
sure.
honest. Yeah.
I didn't get the check mutuals. I just scanned. I did a quick brief. But
Good.
I'm not surprised that you guys get along with each other. She told you how I swindled her and bamboozled her and why she's.
No,
I did not.
No, I need to hear this.
Not.
I need to hear this. Come on, Sam, tell me.
So similar to what she kind of already said it. But what happened was I shot an episode or two and I got her to finally come on. My idea was always to have her as a coach. Before I knew that it was possible to do it, when I was still trying to figure out what I was doing, she was my ideal co-host. I had her and another female friend of mine in mind. And when she came through, I just said, yo, we just gonna talk, kick it, whatever. And I knew that once she saw it and saw the feedback, she was gonna like it.
Okay.
So then she calls me. Hey, I watched the episode. People been hitting me up about the episode. Yo, that was dope. And then we was talking about this. I'm like, she like, we should do that again. I'm like, it's your show.
Oh.
This your show. Fuck it. Do it again. Like, no, I need you next week. Like, what you mean?
Yo, I'm telling you,
Exactly
Sai gives good
happened.
feedback. She gives good feedback. Like,
But we
really
do this.
camera.
Like, this, we would be at the bar doing the same shit without a camera.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, we would probably be interviewing you at the bar. You just wouldn't know it because she'd be on one side of you, I'd be on the other side. We'd just be chopping it up.
Right,
That's a true journalist.
Mhm.
You know, she's like 3 generations.
No, she's like too many generations.
Right. So
Like
it just
too
comes
many.
naturally. Listen.
No,
it takes
she
one
has
to know
that
one.
skill
We
set.
know good journalism.
Absolutely.
No,
Absolutely.
and that's the thing. Like, the last thing I thought I would do would be anything in media.
Okay. I get it.
But it plays on a lot of my strong points.
Okay.
As far as, like, I am in entertainment. I'm fine with being in front of a camera, in front of a microphone. I'm fine with being open when it comes to dialogue. Mm-hmm. And my mom always wanted me to teach. She always thought I'd be a good teacher. So I feel like in a lot of ways I'm able to, like, mesh those two.
Yeah.
If I take it seriously.
That's how I feel about myself in law. Like, my mom always wanted me to be a lawyer because I can just talk. She says I like to argue. I beg to differ. But I do know that I have those qualities in it. But I feel like me doing media is my ultimate calling. And in some kind of way, I'm fighting for rights, like
Absolutely.
just as if I would do in law throughout my media expertise. So
I say
get
the same
it for
thing.
sure.
especially because you're providing information for people, right?
Yeah.
So you might not be arguing in a courtroom, but you're providing information and potentially resources and access to people who need it the same kind of way, you know?
Which is so interesting because people don't realize, like, the industry of law and media and communications, we're like hand in hand. If a lot of former journalists were lawyers, a lot of lawyers were former journalists. So, and if they're not one or the other, they either marry to one another. Like I know so many journalists whose husbands or wives or their spouses or whatever.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
You know, back and forth. They're either a journalist or they're either a lawyer. So, and it's because our industries are so closely related. The way we have to research, the way we have to present information, all of that. So
that's true.
Responsibility is a motherfucker on both fronts. But you're pardon me, you're part of a legal fraction for sex.
I got a funny story about research, but yes.
Like if you look at it, like they asked you to create a department to protect them from legalities.
In a way.
Not saying that their intention was probably to be more inclusive.
Right.
But what you do has standing when it comes to the stuff that a lot of these other companies are just now, like you saying, buckling up for.
Absolutely. It definitely has a piece. So like they have their own council team, but as part of the committee and as part of the council, we're the ones that say, hey, this is a problem here and y'all need to deal with it or it's going to get worse. And you can't say we didn't tell you. And I love
checks
that.
And balances.
I love to be able to do that. I think within like the past year, I took some time off for like maybe 2-3 months or whatever, just to kind of like get some time and to relax. And I came back. I've been back maybe 3 months or so. I've already had like at least 7 meetings about different things. Like we need to talk about this. We need to talk about that. I don't like this. I don't like that. And it works and they appreciate it, you know, because it's a good thing. And it's pretty much keeping them out of hot water as well. But it's also making sure that we're all treated fairly because a lot of it is just nonsense. And
that's the real rising tides raises all ships, because if it's about everybody being treated fairly, then nobody's getting in trouble unjustly. Nobody's running. No, and like she says, if the flag isn't waved, like, yo, there's a problem here. The one that comes up later, way bigger flag.
Exactly.
Way bigger flag.
And I
way
swear,
heavier undertaking.
I wish a lot of managers understood that, because what I found too is a lot of the big wigs, honestly, we think that they are just so detached and really don't care. The thing is, a lot of times they don't even know.
They don't know.
Exactly.
At all.
Do you know how they got to where they at?
Yeah.
It wasn't worried about the stuff we was worried about.
Exactly.
At all.
So it's just about keeping those things in mind, and just I love what I do.
You know what's interesting is something that I realized. So you said
you got me wanting to spend more money with sex.
Yes, I want the road.
Definitely spend with my girls.
I got some tips for you.
Word.
I'm saving money tips. I got you.
Word.
But it made me think about, in regards to a time reference, when you were talking about, being a part of the diversity and inclusion board. You were saying this. I think you said it was right before George Floyd, though, right? When you had the idea about
2019.
Right.
2019. But it's what I wanted to say was that it's so interesting of how everybody relates. Like they refer back to George Floyd for a lot of things. So I was being interviewed a few weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, and they were asking me about the hoodie, and they were asking me about the timing. And it's so interesting that it was literally like right around the time, right after George Floyd. So you and I went to the protest, to the rally, and we knelt for the 8 minutes or whatever seconds. And I had the T-shirt on that was my grandfather's T-shirt, the original statement that this came from.
Wow.
And that's what I went on, and that's all the shirt. And I was like, damn. And so many things was happening. I was like, yo, I got to make it a hoodie. So it's so interesting that I referred to George Floyd. It's also like Emmett Till, right? Like it was a reference in time where it was like pre-Emmett,
I'm going to tell you one that's
pre-George, post-George.
I'm going to tell you one that's even
culture.
scarier. BC is back.
That's what I'm saying.
Before COVID.
Pre and COVID and after COVID. Yeah.
Like BC is back.
Absolutely.
That is true.
Do you understand that the line
And I was thinking about that too.
BC again?
Ooh, I was actually thinking about that too.
Like, yo, that fucked me up. I was like, hold up. Every story that we talk about is even when you came in here and you said, I like the studio, I said, COVID gave us this.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, this is what we got from COVID. Like, it's literally like
Crazy.
because everybody experienced,
It's
like
such a
we say,
shift.
they always used to ask you in school, where were you when? We went through so many of those in our lifetime that are like, it wasn't just our community this time.
No, it was the
You
world.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
The
in our
world.
parents' lifetime, when King died, it meant something different to every community.
Yes,
Exactly.
for
But
sure.
COVID meant the same thing
to everybody.
to everybody's lifestyle.
And the entire world.
So in their memory, there's still that burnt part. That's like it's the indentation right there where shit wasn't right.
Which is something I'm paying attention to, and I'm just very curious about how just society is going to move forward in corporate America and everything, because I feel like some people are still not understanding that we are not the same.
It's all shifting right now.
It is. It's shifting, and it's just like with people with the unemployment rate increasing, but voluntarily increasing, because why, right? Like 78%, I believe, of people are now just quitting their jobs.
Last month, more willingly? People quit than ever before in history. Ever. But like, I'm gonna tell you why.
Entrepreneurship is on the rise.
That not even so much that. COVID put life in perspective.
It did.
In order to live in America, everybody in your house has 2 and 3 jobs. Yeah. A lot of people are letting that second and third job go, realizing that their fucking mental health is more important, realizing that their time with family is more important. But they won't tell you that when they're discussing the numbers, because they want it to seem unhealthy automatically. Because the country runs off of everybody running constantly. You see what I'm saying? Like, children have 2 jobs. Nowadays, your child makes enough money off of YouTube or whatever they hustle is that you might not even need to save for their college fund.
Yeah, for sure.
You see what I'm saying? It's all type of variations. So it is partially what you said as far as independence and things like that. But there's the mindset of, am I going to keep killing myself when tomorrow they could say everything's shut down, and then what do I have except a fight for toilet paper?
So what do you think is going to happen with corporate America? You think they're going to see that? Like, how do you? Because they're going to have to shift at some point.
Brick and mortar has to shift first.
Yep.
In order to kill a lot of the overhead expenses, we have to realize that people have been more productive from home. If they're from home, then we don't need all of this. But what is all the infrastructures of these cities built on? These high rises and the look and all of that. Where does that go? Where does the real estate people play in that, when they're the ones that's in these real offices making sure that you can't pass certain things so that they can keep people in these towers?
True.
You see what I'm saying? That's what it comes down to. Brick and mortar has to disappear in a lot of different ways, and it makes more sense for the business to do it, but you also have an older mindset of my name on this building means everything. And I can agree with that, because Trump didn't own half the buildings his name was on.
Yeah, right.
And the world thought he owned the world.
Right.
He was written namespace. Yes,
you know, they still like
that is valuable.
But do you know a lot of
business that's valuable?
That is true.
Do you know it's not far-fetched that he is running and could potentially win in the next election?
Well, I mean, I think that's why they fighting so hard right now, to make sure that all these convictions come down. Because, like, at the end of the day, the and I don't want to make this political, you know how we keep it, but the Democrats haven't shown any fight. So you're making believers non-believers.
Yeah.
And it was a close thing in the first place.
Yeah.
So if we just talking about numbers and you want to talk about people voting their interest, they want to vote for somebody that no matter what side it's on, they feel like they fighting for it. We were at a point where we had people on a humanity thing. But there's a lot of people that humanly, me and you love, that'll tell you every day, but I made more money, and act like humanity didn't matter.
Yeah.
I was just in the business the other day, and somebody complained about the prices. He was like, yeah, Trump, Biden did this. I was like, But then, like, what's the comparison? Like, he did this, your man did what? But the thing is, they won't say that that's their man. That's why you allowed to vote in secrecy. If you look at Facebook, these people are saying little dumb things like Colin Powell died today. I seen a post that said another one going to the jab. I don't know what that means,
right?
Like that terminology,
right?
But I know what you're referencing. You're talking about getting poked.
Yeah.
And still passing.
Yeah, because he was fully vaccinated.
But it's so much backlash now. Just like everybody saying, no comment needed, don't respond, don't at me, whatever have you. They know that they can't necessarily say, I'm saying I'm anti-vax.
So you know what's so important to me?
Shit when somebody dies.
Yeah. So what's so important again is even like the purpose of this hoodie and this shirt and the slogan and the mantra and all. It's so important that we have our own narratives and our own stories. What I did not like when I saw on like the major, media platforms when they said, Colin Powell passed away, veteran whose story was marred by, like why the fuck is that the second? That wasn't a part of the.
Yeah.
Like I just clicked on it because it said Colin Powell died, so I clicked like.
Usually I would. I
read it, and that was the second line in the article, and it's like, why does it have to be whose whose character was marred because he falsely claimed that. Like, why is it the second line?
Because it's written by the same people that idolize the people who we trying to tear down the statues of.
That's why. That's
exactly
why we need that.
I'm 100 with you on that. Like, but we gotta understand.
Why is it the second? I feel like it was like a comma in a part of the first sentence, to be honest.
But what did I always say about why I hate history? As a black person, quote unquote, I understand that the winners write the history books. The losers never get to tell their story. If I get to tell you my life story based on my highlights, as in Instagram format,
and maybe it's not even the winners.
Guess it would be.
Guess what?
Yeah.
Then I'm the greatest man alive.
For sure.
But the reason that I'm actually a man is because I have faults and I've had to atone for those and figure those things out in life. That's the reality of being the man. Not the man, but a man.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So highlights don't make that. So when you tell me I gotta memorize names and dates and shit that I know ain't really happen like that.
Sometimes it don't even be the winners. It be the ones with the most resource and access. Again, sometimes it don't even be the winners. It be the ones with the most resource and access.
See, that
can dictate and tell a story.
But that's privilege. That's
exactly.
That's a on the seesaw. They side is a little higher.
Like, do you think like Nat Turner was like really when Toussaint Louverture was like the only ones that overthrew people?
Hell no.
Yeah.
But we don't know. We didn't hear them stories about them other winners. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But see, that win isn't a win for them. So overall, if they won,
but it was a win for us. But we didn't have the resource and access to tell the story.
But that's why we have these platforms and we use them responsibly.
Right. Thankfully, we have them there. We blessed to have them there.
That's why I could talk to every rapper on the East Coast in person on Sippin with Sammie, on Flyboy Friday, and we're still meticulous about who we let coming on our platforms.
I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that, because I always talk about like fundamental journalism. You know this.
We do all the time.
All the time. Because I have a meme. I borrowed it from Judge
Speaking
Lynn Toller.
of memes,
right? Speaking of memes, I gotta show it to y'all. I'm gonna send it to y'all. But it's a meme, and I borrowed it from Judge Lynn Toller, and she basically I got a degree in it. I studied it or what have you. Sit down with that microphone you just bought. You get what I'm saying? Like, I can't stand when people think, and that's for any industry, when you think you can just buy the equipment and just do it. Now, granted, you don't always have to do the straight and narrow, and it's many ways to skin a cat, but take responsibility in it. And when we're talking about journalism and people who have a microphone, like, I'm so sick of people getting podcasts and just setting up microphones and just talking about nothing or misleading information, or
that's my part. The misleading, I can't stand that.
Perpetuating ideologies that we don't even need anymore. It's just like, come on, guys, you have a responsibility. Take it with honor and handle
That's
it
my
right.
thing with not even podcasts, social media as well. I think social media has given too many people a platform to give misinformation. That's my biggest thing.
But I mean, my responsibility is just, all right, how they say, being solid, right? I got a radio show on Glocawear Radio. Mm-hmm. All the independents go through there, so there's all kind of energy that goes through that building. There's people that I love that'll call me like, yo, I need to come on this week. I gotta get some shit off my chest.
Yo, you remind me of the modern day Sway Calloway, by the way.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
I would love to be that, especially for the city.
I can see that for sure.
But my first thing is, love you to death, bro. You can come on here, we can talk about what you got coming out, but we can't talk about what you trying to get off your chest. Do you know how small this city is?
Exactly.
My show is 2 hours long.
Right.
It takes 15 minutes to get anywhere. You really want to get there.
Yeah.
Like, we not doing that. You know what I mean? And I respect your position. I understand what you got going on, but I'm probably not going to play the diss record neither.
Right.
Right.
Whether you there or not. Like, I just don't. And then, as small as the city is, I'm probably tied to the person on the other end of that record.
In some way, form, or fashion.
On the other end of that
some way,
record.
form, or fashion.
And I'd rather y'all win.
We talk about this all the time.
Y'all get past it, and then y'all could both come on.
Especially in the city, because we always say, like, you know, they say it's 6 degrees separation. Like, I say it's like 2. Yeah. He say 2 to 3, but I say it's 1 to 2 specifically in the city.
Oh my God!
I say 1 to 2. He say 2 to 3.
I just went to an event and saw, like, I feel like almost everybody at the event.
I saw your story and was like,
1, 2, like, I know her. I know, like, yes. And honestly, I kind of.
And he knows half the people. I was looking at your story, like,
that's and didn't even know. You know, I just went for the person who the event was for out of support, and then come to find out, it just unfolded into like a whole like media type family.
I met the person with him. That's how I even know the person who party was.
Wow. So yeah, I mean, it's important to be mindful of that, and plus, I mean, all of that tends to be nonsense anyway when you look at the grand scheme of things.
I ain't wanted to forget it.
Thank you so much. But in the grand scheme of things, all of that seems to be just unimportant. I will say, I know a lot of people who are just as annoyed. You know, I remember I had one mentor. And we were just having conversation. This person's also a journalist, and he was like, the world was so much better when these people were quiet. It's harsh, but it's real.
When they can just do they op-ed, they little Dear Abbeys or whatever, they have little op-eds or whatever. Like,
leave it to the people who are trained.
But I think what happens is
but don't have a whole platform and a following, please.
No, but if you're skilled media, you realize that the low-hanging fruit was never yours anyway.
Right.
So most people that's jumping into this, they're talking about current events. They're talking about famous people. They're talking about big arguments. They're talking about
sensationalized things.
Sensation, and it's cool because it is a numbers game. Everything's a numbers game. There's nothing wrong with you, but
when you look at the bigger things, like the bigger picture,
when you start talking about longevity. You know what I mean? Somebody
it's
like
about
Academics put all the numbers on the board possible. Yeah. But he had to change his business mantra in order to stay in the game.
Exactly.
Because he was playing a dangerous game.
He was, very much so.
Business people, even though they'll pay for it, they'll also show you that they'll hang you out there as bait.
What? Quickly.
So you could be like, oh, they paying me for it. And then one day you'll look up like, they got insurance on me, life insurance on me. Like, they not, listen, if I go tomorrow, they make more.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you got to be a person at some point. You got to start. We could talk about a Charlemagne, somebody that we've seen grow and we've seen his art change in media. Like, you can do the numbers thing as long as you want to. You can jump in the water that way. But people that's real media, they learn how to really be media.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You learn how to really focus on what counts. We want to talk to dope people. We want to talk to people that are doing things. I don't want to sit up in here and argue about if the earth is flat.
Right.
The argument has been had. The smartest to the dumbest have had it. And the smartest only spoke because of the dumbest, and sometimes vice versa if you see which argument was had.
Absolutely.
I'm not even mad at nobody in that argument. I just don't want to have it.
Right. It's not my place to have.
Like, I'm cool. You talking about space, I'm trying to figure out what's in the ocean. Like, I'm worried about what's in my media.
You talk about that all the time.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when it comes down to being real journalists and real media, and I'm probably the least least person at this table to speak to this, there's a difference. There's a big difference. You're going to see all of the numbers go up as far as how many people have podcasts. But then when you look at their timestamps, they're all the same topics.
All the same topics.
How many times do you want to hear about that shit?
I don't.
30 minutes. God.
How many times? And then it dates it. Because you realize if I catch up to that episode 3 months later, your whole conversation blows my mind because y'all don't even know what happened.
Exactly.
Y'all talking 2 days before the shit really came out.
Yeah.
So now we know everything, and I'm listening to your take on your speculation of it.
And you don't understand the technique of actually waiting to see. Because how many times are we in a board or we're at a pitch meeting and something to come up and it's like, nah, we got to wait and see how that unfolds. They don't know that. That comes from training. You know? Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
No, it's amazing. And then it's like everybody has glitches. But when you train and when people give you feedback, you realize your glitches.
Yeah.
Right, you know that you got this little thing you do that's kind of awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right?
You realize nobody tunes in to watch you do this the whole episode.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's...
They might.
Right.
Like, all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, but then at the same time... You Angie Jr., you Lisa Thomas Laurie Jr. When we ever seen them up there more worried about what they got going on than what's going on?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's because a lot of that is behind the cameras for presentation. It has nothing to do with the art of the industry. Nothing.
Well, if you doing this the whole time, you damn sure can't be doing nothing about the art of the industry. Like, you can't be worried about it if that's
like,
what you're concerned about.
I'm talking to you. I just sold 300,000 copies when nobody's going to go. And all you are looking at is how you look at it in the monitor or in your live stream.
Or even a conversation don't be having no substance too.
Yes,
so you looking at yourself for a hair.
A lot of people, and even
like,
if they're not doing that, because guess what?
So.
Then that's the first start. So you hear, they fix the hair, and then they pass the live. They're not doing that.
Right.
A lot of people don't have substance.
No.
There's no substance. So even if they're looking at you eyeball to eyeball, they can't meet you where you're at. They actually have a conversation.
Catchphrases and captions. if you could say what sounds cute
was decent at the time.
Yeah.
about anything,
Yeah.
it's just like leaving heart eye emojis under every picture. Like, it's just the same thing.
Yeah.
And everybody wants the same thing. It's digestible. It's fair to them. It lets them still have some kind of hierarchy. But ultimately, it doesn't make any sense.
No.
It doesn't.
I don't want to see that Steve Harvey is slaying.
Steve Harvey.
Like, why is this 70-year-old man slaying anything?
He has been on my timeline.
You see what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't even make sense.
Are you talking about the picture with him and Marjorie?
I'm talking about so many
Everything.
people, Steve.
That's what I said. He been flying.
They make slideshows of Steve. It'd be 5 different
my
looks,
gosh.
but it'd be like Steve looking like a zaddy. Like, why my man can't just be sharp?
Right,
He comes from being sharp.
Right. Can we
Y'all
talk about
can't
the
use
lapel?
a term that make he
Right.
don't gotta be a zaddy because hashtag zaddy
I've never
is the
seen
most
a zaddy,
poppin'
but
hashtag.
okay.
Yeah.
Like Steve
Yeah.
Harvey is not a zaddy. He's a man.
Exactly. Let's talk
This
about
is what I'm talking about. Like, when you really
Okay,
think
so that's
about
the
it.
joint of Zaddy right now. Okay, gotcha.
Oh yeah, zaddy.
Zaddy been out for a minute.
That's
though.
what I was saying. Like, them.
But it's a layup.
It is.
Yeah.
Because if you type in the
Hashtag
hashtag, what does it show
Zaddy, you right there.
How many other
Right.
people hashtagged it already? Zaddy is in
22 million, right?
Flash it only, few hundred.
Right. Yes.
We
No,
might be at
because people
1,000.
stealing it. No, people
Oh no,
taking
I
it.
follow the hashtag. The shit that pops up on my feed is crazy.
Right.
What?
Oh,
Wow.
Flash it only. I see this old white man, his grandson, and the Flash it only hashtag. I'm like, I swear.
Wow.
That would have been the banging ass
Response.
rebuttal for that one.
I swear.
Yeah.
That's another one that they've been running with. But no, it's like you kind of build these things to be ran with. So I don't get offended when it's a hashtag. I get offended when it's a clothing line. I get
Yeah.
offended when it's a radio show.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
this shit didn't exist. Like, I've been following this hashtag for 4.5 years.
Yeah.
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 5 years, it didn't exist.
Yeah.
I get offended when somebody names they show Sippin with
Mm-hmm.
and you know me. And then when it lasts 3 weeks and then you see me in public, you act like you don't want to
Like,
speak
you ain't
to
sipping.
me.
Like, your name ain't sipping?
Like you wasn't one of the ones that I ran all this by in the beginning. Like, you should be supporting. You should be
That-
saluting me when I see you.
Oh my gosh. Imitation is annoying.
I was about to say, it's
I
not the
just
highest
gotta
form of
say,
flattery. It's annoying.
not.
Drake
I'm
just
sorry.
said it.
I remember
Yeah.
Pink said it too when they were talking about, I think, when the controversy with her and Christina Aguilera. And she was like, I don't think it's the greatest form of flattery. And she was like, I think it's annoying.
I mean,
I
to
concur.
certain levels.
I concur.
But I'm also arrogant. So my arrogance is like, well, you following means that I'm doing something right, and you have no idea what I'm about.
Have
to
no
do.
idea.
Right.
Have no
when
idea.
If you chasing me down the street and I bang this tight left, you got you
About
butt
to
with
get,
that left,
yeah.
cause I gotta do it first.
Yeah.
Listen.
You see what I'm saying?
All
and by
the
time
time.
you've been
This
in that
conversation
corner,
been coming up a lot lately.
no, cause it's a real thing.
people- I
Because
was about
the
to say,
people that we're around
Yep.
are doing things that are being watched and being scaled,
Exactly.
not just followed, scaled.
Exactly.
People are putting business acumen behind it and all type of things. They're being
Exactly. It's people that know me know that I definitely concur with this. Things I've been dealing with the past couple of months, but it
Like, we
is what
keep
it
touching
is.
that nerve. Keep tapping on that nerve,
Right?
But yes, no, I get
We'll
it.
talk about it later.
Yes, we'll talk about it later. That's what it is.
She'll be back later to talk about it.
Yes. Whew.
But it's the nature of the beast. It's dog eat dog. It's get paid off the motherfucker under you. And when you try to do things the right way, you bound to have people that think that you're a doormat.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, in business is you have to have proof of.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You can't just say this is a dope idea. You gotta run it and test it.
Yeah.
We running the
Execute.
field. We testing our shit. We not just going off of putting
Yeah,
$50
execute.
behind an Instagram ad.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah,
I
no.
can't
Yo,
stand
she is
people.
hilarious.
I swear to goodness, I cannot stand copycatters. I don't like it. It annoys me. You know, and I feel like the only ones who do that are the ones who have no vision, who have no creativity, and essentially
Well,
are
if you
not
have
chosen.
vision- if you have vision, you have too much pride.
You think
Listen.
so?
If you had, I mean, just like I'm
You
an
had too
artist.
much pride to copy
I'm
somebody.
an
is what
artist
you're
and I'm
saying.
sensitive about
Yeah,
my shit.
yeah, I
Yeah.
get
Like,
you. I get
take
you.
pride in it being your
Yours.
idea.
Exactly.
Listen.
I teach my kids that all the time. Yo, I teach my kids all the time. Like, I be damn near ready to beat their ass if they be a follower. Like,
Ooh.
listen, I tell them all the time. Like, we ain't no followers. Let me hear my son.
What? It's a mantra in my house. You
Yeah.
are not a what?
A follower.
Exactly.
Like, I'm
And-
telling you, yes.
Exactly.
How long they going? which comes with accountability. Know the difference between a reason and an excuse.
Yo, I got that from you, and I've been saying it to my kids.
Between a reason and an excuse. My dad always needed a reason.
Yo, I took that from you. Let me tell you.
You hit him with that. I don't know. All right, well, you sit there until you figure it out.
Hey, bro, I've implemented.
Just like eating your peas. You sit there until you done.
Right.
Listen, I've implemented it in my house now.
Like, you know what it teach you? How to think.
Yes.
You start thinking beforehand because you like, what I'm.
But these little kids too swift because guess what? They be having the shit ready. I be like,
listen.
No, because you can see through it. You still know their development.
I can, but CJ is a good one.
You got a lawyer in your house. Aren't you a little lawyer?
Yeah. He is, exactly. That's exactly what we developing him for. My mom said the same thing.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
He'll try to make you think that you said something that you ain't even say. Like, cause you said
like what?
Wait,
no, I got
say
one
that?
of those. I definitely got one of those.
No, I know I ain't really say that.
That's what you gotta tell him. You gotta say, look, CJ, I need you to be more careful. Because if you keep misquoting, it's gonna sound like a lie.
Oh, I say it all the time. Oh, I say that all the time. Oh no, I do that.
I know that's not your intention.
No. Oh, I say it all the
But
time.
when you try to make me understand what I said, you need to
but
do more
sometimes it
research.
might be some shit that I might have said. I'm like,
you talk fast, so you fuck around and cut your own knees sometimes. I don't know with you.
exactly. But no, most of the time he be trying me. But sometimes
I just did it.
I mean,
gosh.
shit.
You got a lot of hair. You gotta
I
listen.
got hair too. I be having to move this shit out my face. But I'm saying, like, when you watch somebody the whole time, it's
And they join. I can't stand it.
Or
He
they
don't
do
even
that
like
and the
selfies.
camera, I can't
If you
stand
take a selfie, he won't like your picture.
Oh.
He doesn't like selfies.
I mean,
I don't really care
I might
too
like the
much
first
either.
one, but after that, you just taking the same picture over and over.
Yeah,
and over
I was
again.
about to say I'll put my selfie like in my stories or something. If I'm like, oh, this is cute, I'll show a little something.
I just don't think. I just think that we have equated nonsense with self-love, and that's one of the biggest examples of it.
We've replaced it.
It's one of the biggest. Like vanity
Yes.
has replaced self-love, and that's crazy.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, let's
That's
keep
very
it
true.
real about
Yeah.
what we do out here.
Yeah.
Like, I love being on stage because I like immediate gratification. It's vain.
It is what it is.
But I give them energy, they give it back.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I don't come with my head out.
Yeah.
That's anybody in show business. Like, the bug doesn't bite everyone. You get what I'm saying? I think that's one of the misconceptions that social media has been perpetuating too, which is why we get inundated with so many people that just kind of don't belong.
That's a good point. Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Is because it gives you this false sense of importance, even though like everybody's not chosen. It's so crazy because I was about to wear my t-shirt that I had that says chosen because people don't realize everyone are not, many are called, few are chosen, and that's for like whatever industry. But social media has had everybody to believe that as long as you have a page and you look cute and you put on a filter and you can go buy whatever and show a vacation pic that you popping, and that's not the truth.
Well, it's gotten to the point now where all the value is how much fake shit can you pay for.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I was about to say that when you were going. I was about to say that.
Can you get? How much eyelash can you get?
How many followers can you pay for?
Put on how many followers can you pay for? How many if you go on vacation, can you rent that $400,000 car?
Yeah.
Before you go back home to your Honda?
Right?
You see what I'm saying?
It's yachts now too.
Like it didn't I remember when people used to be in their car before everybody got the game down serious. Used to slip up and show their little emblem on their steering wheel or whatever. And you can tell
I remember that.
Wheel from
I remember that.
wheel.
Yes.
Those
the
people used to
keys
slip
right
up.
there.
Now everybody got it down pat. They will show the best angle in this Tercel, and you will think they in the newest spaceship.
Yes,
You'll be like, what the fuck? Like, and then they'll tell you, no caption needed, spaced out. Like, yo,
It's
you
so
not
true.
fabulous, yo. And
so
spaced
true.
out is a caption, and so is no caption needed. Stop, yo.
Right.
And you talking to King No Caption.
Right?
I
He don't post some shit. Yeah, he don't. He absolutely don't.
I started doing it lately because I realized it's affecting business. Like, I need to put some hashtags on some shit.
Right.
But at some point, you got to jump in the game.
But they're company hashtags. There's not like,
Of course.
know, I'm not chasing the Zaddy joint.
No,
like,
I get it.
And I'm not sitting in my
He
car
better not be.
doing 8th grade graduation poses because I got a new haircut.
That was
I
6th
can't
grade for
do
us.
it. That was 6th grade.
All the girls, me and Shay talk about it all the time. All of our Jones was like this.
Yes.
Yo.
But no, I'm talking about the dudes when they got
No,
the chalk.
Donovan had his
got the
joint.
chalk
Donovan
on
joint
it,
was 8th grade. Right.
Shout out to Donovan.
Shout out to
Hopefully he's
Donovan.
doing well.
Yeah, but we just need to do
That was
better,
one of my
especially in our
arch-nemesis.
community.
No,
We grown.
we do. We have to If we talking about empowering each other, that don't mean co-sign everything.
It's so crazy because, like, in my show, I just had a guest co-host. His name is Louis Garnett, and we were having a conversation about what does it look like to dispel the image of black on black crime outside of it just being violence. And part of that is embracing one another in our community and our relationships and our families and our industries.
How about not acknowledging the term that don't apply to nobody else but us?
And that was one of the points as well.
Like, we can't,
For sure.
like the shit's a myth.
Right.
Like, the numbers don't even support it.
Yo, you gotta watch my episode.
Like, the numbers don't even support that
episode.
shit. And it's literally a cop-out.
Right.
Literally. And it's a cop-out that they've made us believe. But what fucks me up
But hold up, so are you saying that there's no crime that's happening in our city that we're doing to ourselves?
I'm saying that every community affects the people closest to them
For
violently
sure.
by theft and all of that. And if you look at the numbers in this country, we are a minority, which means there's a majority that fucks each other up way more than we do.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that in our community, we got to look at ourselves.
But that's not. See, then you start falling under the umbrella of what the terminology means.
That's why I said fuck the terminology. I'm not talking about the terminology.
Exactly. Right. There are black people that kill each other. Yeah. There are black people that harm each other. Right. But black on black crime is not a real term. Yeah, it's not based on anything.
I care about the community. That things are happening in our community.
So what happens is, this is why we have the Sister Talia's and As I Plant the Seed, Ryan, who we'll have on soon, and certain people like that we have to pour into. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because when they doing it block by block, when they building villages for children to feel creative and have those spaces, and we can't keep complaining about the youngins that you might not necessarily be able to catch up with. Right. Because we interviewed Jarut, the assist. He could grab them. Yeah. We interviewed 17 to Life. They could get with them. Yeah. We need everybody to play their part before we start just throwing around terminologies. That's like saying super criminal or whatever they called that shit. What was it? It's like we would never say that. Yeah. But then the same people that'll tell you the reason we can't do this is because of this term is the same people that'll tell you read the Bible and they gave you that in slavery.
Absolutely.
And that doesn't make sense.
Absolutely.
Because ultimately it's the same thing. You're using their rhetoric against your people. Yeah. Now, I can't fight against nobody's religion, and I was born and raised Baptist. Okay. You see what I'm saying? So I have nothing against Christianity. I'm talking about the perspective that comes about.
I got you. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But when you really talk about just disputing the words that the master gave you against your own people. Yeah. Black on black crime is definitely
that's where I was about to say, and that's where it all stems from, to be honest. I mean,
and
we understand that.
And to be honest with you, the master, he didn't really just give it to us. What he did was he changed it and he manipulated it because it
super predator. Right.
Was the
term, my bad.
Right. It was originally given to us. Like, we are the original Hebrews. Mm-hmm. You know, just saying, you know. So, and they took pieces of that and manipulated that and then said this is your Bible, but it was always our word. You get what I'm saying? It was always for us as a people. And same with black on black crime. It's just like, it's propaganda. It's something that they sensationalize to get us to thinking that this is what we are about. And for those of us who are not proactively raising our children, or not proactively trying to better ourselves, or not proactively just trying to do good in our own community for our own people,
it's an easy term to lean on.
Absolutely.
It's so easy
and you don't even know that you're doing it. And so now you know that you out here and you doing what you do, and next thing you know, somebody roll their eyes at you, or somebody doing something that you don't like, and you react in a certain way because it's coined that you're supposed to be tough in a certain dynamic and in a certain way. And now you beefing with this person to the extreme, and then there we go.
And you're not even allowed, and you shouldn't really look down on it, but even to acknowledge it in a certain light, because it's looked at as if you're unaware or as if you don't care about your people, when ultimately it's like, yo, I have a little more information and I'm dealing with somebody that feels helpless.
But let me tell you about the manipulation.
So they're building, out of their helplessness, they're building their bubble of thought. Exactly. Based on what they don't think they can and can't do.
Exactly. And that's what I was getting ready to go to, because like it goes back to the manipulation thing. Because one of the things the biggest thing we touched on in my show was outside of violence, because black on black crime extends to so many different places in our community.
Crime. It's not just
absolutely.
Violence. Absolutely.
And even in like the workplace, how many of us get manipulated into just going against one another? I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've seen managers, mentors literally bully another black woman or a black man just because they feel like, You know what I mean? And they don't even realize that they're being manipulated into doing it, and they're taking pride in it because we're so used to having nothing and being unaccepted that finally they get something short of a title, and all of a sudden it's just, you know, every man for themselves. Even if you're out there just reinventing another idea of house slave and field slave.
I had a racist white manager at the Gap. Mm-hmm. She was already racist. She was already doing too much. We all understood who Pam was, right? And that's her name. Mm-hmm. She wound up pregnant. Everybody had to adjust because we had headsets, walkie-talkies. She couldn't be around the radiation. She couldn't wear one. So her as a manager, she doesn't have the same communications going on. There's a lot of room for
which means she misses a lot.
Communication. Mm-hmm. One day we get into a disagreement about something because I had done my job and she wasn't aware of it. Is basically what it came down to. And she was doing too much. She was in my face too much.
Right.
And, you know what I mean? And she was talking the way that we all know her to talk to us. And I said, you know what, Pam? You got it. I'm going to take a 15. Right? Because you get 2 15s, you get your hour. Full shift, right?
Gotcha.
I took my 15. I went to Chick-fil-A. I saw the 2 black managers I fuck with. I sat there for 45 minutes with them and told them I'm about to clock out and never come back.
Wow.
But I had a conversation with them.
Okay.
Because I respected them and I
Right.
appreciated them.
Mm-hmm.
And they had an hour. They on an hour break. So they like, should you be going back? I'm like, nigga, for what? I'm clocking out. Like, I'm really like... But
Right.
I want y'all to understand, like, I ain't want to... You know what I mean?
I'm not
Like, I'm a team player. Y'all know how y'all want to do overnights. I'm here.
Yeah, right. And they
You know
don't
what I
understand
mean? Like,
that
it
about
come with
us.
that.
Right.
We don't even want a Pam there.
Listen.
She makes us less productive.
Listen, let me tell you, I say that all the time to like managers.
I was in high school.
And corporations, right. If they only knew how much we take pride in working. Listen, just treat us right. We
All
would
you
do
had to
good.
do was put a radio on or the pizza.
That's
We was there till 6 in the
it.
morning.
Give you no problem. Give you no problem. No, listen, I get
I'm getting paid.
It's sad.
It's a party, pizza party.
It's sad.
Yeah, right.
What we doing? Help me move this. Ain't about nothing.
Yeah.
Mutual understanding, mutual respect.
Even in relationships, it's just like I feel like we just need to get ourselves together a lot more because like we need
she
to
grabbed
choose
me
each
when I
other.
said I was taking the 15 too. By the way.
Oh wow.
And that's when it got crazy. Like I tried to walk away,
Sure.
she grabbed me, and that's when that's why I quit.
As you should have.
She grabbed my arm. Pam, you don't get the fuck out. I'm
Put
right
your
by
hands
the,
on
I'm right
me.
by the stop door. Like,
But if you would have did that to her, you would have been locked the fuck up.
oh no, I
Right.
went to jail before the 15
If
was
not
over.
dead.
Oh no,
You get what
real
I'm
rap.
saying?
Like it was bad, and it was like you probably know Ali Ukda. He was,
I love Ali.
you know, he was the stockroom man.
I remember all of that.
Wow.
I remember Ali. I remember what it was.
I'm right by
Who
the
got me
door.
my?
Wow.
They got me my favorite leather skirt
Wow.
from the Get back in the day. But I shout out to Ali and his brother
got
Hakeem.
everybody leather shit from the Get
Kimi,
Back.
Yes.
Kimi and Ali, his little brother Hakeem. I love them.
No, the Ukdas is good folks. man.
Yeah, and they
Good folks.
sister, they mom, they whole family is dope.
See, I just know Ali, but I know ever since I've known Ali, whenever I mention his name, it get like that.
Yeah,
That's dope.
You know
That's
what I mean?
dope.
And
That's
that's
how you
solid.
know you good
That's
people.
solid.
Yep.
Yeah.
we was in our final accounting classes in Temple. He got accounting
Talk
degree
about
too.
a super smart brother, but he know how to keep his head down,
Yeah.
but he know when to pop out.
Right.
I learned a
Right.
lot fucking with Ali. Yo.
Yeah, I love the Ukdas. Yes, absolutely.
No, but these are just the things that we go through. When
Listen.
ultimately, I'm sure you probably go through this too. How long did it take before you realized, like, yo, I can really affect whatever I touch that I really care about
Listen,
against the, you know, the conception of what you got to go up against?
if I'm 100% honest, this year, I thought I believed it when I decided to go full on journalism because I told you I started in weather and my media expertise.
But you
was
killed
always,
that.
right?
So that's
right.
one pick. That's one down.
Right.
That's one down.
So I wanted to go into journalism because one thing about like hard news and just like mainstream media, like they like to try to put you in like a box, and it's not necessarily like a bad thing. Sometimes it's just your beat is your beat. If they see you as more of a feature reporter, you're going to do features, and it doesn't mean that you're not good. It's just we're going to utilize you to the best way that we can because we know what you're good at. And at the time,
As far
mine
as
was
what we can implement.
right,
And
and
that's boundaries too.
absolutely. Absolutely. And at the time, they saw me as weather, so it was like fun stories and what have you. And at the time, I was sitting in news meetings, not just at my station, but just being a part of the industry. And I'm realizing that it's like 20 hard news stories that's about crime and violence and just something that we don't always need all the time. And then you get another 20 good news stories, and they would choose 17 terrible stories, and then the other 3 would just be, we're gonna just add these features in. And that's when I realized, and I was like,
being at the table,
right? And I was just like, my voice is much bigger than this, so at the time, my news director started a segment called Shaneen's Friends. So by my second year of my first contract, I had my own segment.
That's heavy.
Yeah, and I was going to ask your mom about it.
That's a big.
Or your aunt. Yes, ask your aunt about it. Deal. Yes, so I would go around the city, and it was just if you had a unique talent or if you had a unique story that you wanted to tell. I interviewed Abaya Williams, who went to the Olympics in karate and won gold, and people didn't know, and trained the Junior Olympics team for USA.
That's what this motherfucker supposed to be doing right now. But go ahead.
We already had this conversation
You see me giving the eyes.
Oh, really?
That's why I'm looking at him like, shut up.
But no, you know what though? Y'all might need to do it together.
Possibly.
There might need to be co-interest in that, because y'all would be dope. No matter who's in front of the camera, just backing each other play would be so heavy for y'all.
Absolutely. So I started doing this. At the time, I thought, the reason why I want to do this, because people was like, well, why are you transitioning out of weather? And I was like, I'm not transitioning out of weather. Weather is always my heart. I've always,
I can do that.
I'm
not going to forget.
It's like riding a bike. I can forecast. You give me a METAR, I can read it, and I can tell you what's going on. It is what it is. But right now, I feel like I have a bigger voice than weather. And that's what I told my viewers. And at the time, my news director, which I didn't really have to explain to him too much because he did understand, but it was just getting the pushback. And we had my segment,
blessed,
and I have.
You had some dope people.
I told you I would want to have her here for a long time. I couldn't wait to have this moment.
You brought the energy that made them believe in you.
Right.
But you've been blessed with some dope people. But go ahead.
Thank you. And so at the time, I thought that I knew and I believed and realized that, everything I do, but it wasn't really until this year, because I had to go through more challenges after that. I had to go through more personal challenges, because it's easy
you took a mental health break this year.
I did.
That's one of them things you probably never had to do that before.
No,
or had the convenience to do it.
Right, and I, would say, me being the first female, the first black woman weather anchor in the CSRA, you would think that I had to do it then. And there were times where it was close, and I was just like, you know what, I need a moment.
Times you should have,
exactly. But I was younger then, you know what I mean. And then I felt like I had a point to prove at the time.
When you're young, you rubber.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And now, in the present day, it's just like you realize the importance of it, And I did that, and I would say within this year, that's when I really just, not only did I feel like I understood it, but I felt it, and I took the initiative, and I have pride in it, where I can say everything I touch is gold. Because I know my protection. Yes. I know my worth. I know that I'm chosen. You get what I'm saying? Queen. And I wouldn't really understand it if I had not gone through what I've gone through and watched my Lord protect me, number one, and two, watch people who tried to take from me what I have and realize it wasn't working. And it wasn't going to work because I was meant to be there, and you tried to take it. So not only is it not going to work from you, now you got to sit down forever.
But what's yours is yours. What's yours is yours.
It is what it is.
Your time is your time.
Right.
So those two things have to align.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Like success is when preparation meets opportunity. Like that don't matter when you the fuck wanted it or when somebody else might have seemed to have it.
So true.
Exactly.
So true.
Because both have to exist.
So true.
Exactly.
Both have to exist.
Yeah.
But what you just said was powerful as fuck, and I salute you for that. High
thank
five.
you. Thank
High
you.
five. I'm glad you found your power in that shit. And mind you, now you got another fucking level, another boss to where you feel another level of that.
Right. Absolutely.
But you have to understand that no matter what pot you in, it's soup.
Right.
I'm the spice.
Right. Yes.
You had me the oxtail, you had me the chicken, you had me the beef. It's soup.
I'm the spice.
What's happening? It's soup.
Yes.
Right.
And we go.
Exactly.
Yo, he's silly as shit. Yes.
No, but I mean, some of these things are so simple,
Mm-hmm.
and we literally lose sleep over them. We literally lose sleep over them.
Facts.
So when you get to the reason that I asked her that was because I knew she had that understanding.
Right.
I didn't know it was that recent.
Yeah.
I thought it might have been 2 years ago when she started the situation or whatever.
Yeah.
Because like you said, there's levels to where she's been, and that's not media based.
Yeah.
What she does for sex, none of that shit.
Right.
So that's another world that might have been the time that she was like, all right, cool, 2018, 2019, cool. But she said that was recently because it was one of her most tumultuous times. And then
Right.
that's fucking important because people think that it's supposed to be when it's perfect.
Yeah.
When is it perfect?
Yeah.
Never. And I had to go through what I had to go through. Like, I have never had an accomplishment of success or a position in any way, shape, or form where somebody didn't try to take it from me.
I'm going to tell you how excited she is. Look where she's sitting in that chair. This motherfucker.
I am literally on the edge of my seat. Shut up.
Went to the edge of the seat. I love it.
Because people need to
Y'all
know
can't
these
see because
things.
she in the middle. But if she was one of us, y'all just peeped it. She
Right.
is way away from the sign.
I'm looking at where I'm sitting. I'm like,
I'm trying to tell y'all the power of being
this
chosen.
excites her though.
I see it.
And
I
that's
knew this already. Listen, I know.
No, but the crazy thing is, I'm just formally meeting you.
Yeah,
I get you. Yeah.
I've heard about you. I've scanned your page. I realized that our networks, if she's saying they connect the way that they do, then I understand where your energy is.
Yeah.
Because the people that we care about network wise, because we have various forms of networks.
Right.
That's a different world when she like, no, the people that I was there because of somebody I met through him.
Right.
All right, cool. We here with it.
Right.
But when you say like, yo, just recent, like that meant something to me. I felt good for you. And I felt good that you could tell them that.
Yeah.
Because they could see everything you did before this year as a success.
Sure.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers will rest on that. Sit on that, stay in that job, or get another job and rest on those laurels saying I did that.
Mm-hmm.
And what you said was beyond all of that from Augusta.
Right.
It was after
Keeping it
was BC.
Right.
George Floyd. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
it can happen for you anytime. It's about applying and realizing your strengths and your powers.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I assumed that she knew that. The fact that she could pinpoint it means that she's aware, and that's why she's gotten where she's at.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That shit, everything that you've said, she likes to bring full circle things on it because she thinks in a circle for some reason. She's weird. She's like Tasmanian devil. But everything since the first 15 minutes of the conversations, I'm drawing parallels to like, well, that's why that happened, and that why.
Right.
But I'm on the outside, and I didn't want to just break up what y'all was saying, so I didn't point them all out. But these are things that you might take for granted.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So you having that awareness of that moment is important because that'll make the next moments for you.
Absolutely.
Right.
Because you'll be fearless in them.
Yeah. Like
And you'll be
self-awareness.
intentional.
Exactly. And that's what it takes. You know, and you don't really learn that until you go through your own self-awareness and spiritual warfare and all of that. And that's what it takes, because you need to do that to stay grounded so you can maintain, because I'm telling you, it is some sharks out here.
I was about to say, you know who your competition is?
Listen. So
Do you know who our competition is?
You have to. It's so important.
Nah, it's a real thing, man. I'm glad she came through. And we ain't
too.
done
I'm
yet.
glad
We
I
got a
am
few
too.
more
I
moments.
told you I was like so excited. I've been trying to get you for a while. I've been talking to him about you for a long time.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
once you were like, "Oh yes, I'm good on this date," I was like, "All right." So we locked her in. So,
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm
because
definitely
we
coming
scattered.
in.
For anybody that watches this podcast, there's something for y'all, right? I said it on 100th episode. The guest list is endless.
Yeah.
The
I
scheduling
can tell that.
is
And she said that
everything.
too. She was like, "I know podcast scheduling can be a bit much."
It's everything.
Listen.
I will hit South on a Monday, like, can you film tomorrow? And
Yeah,
then I will
I
spend
get
the
it.
rest of Monday trying to find a guest who that matches up with.
I get it.
That's a priority because we're not wasting episodes.
Right.
We're trying to fit in the people that we've already had conversations with, people that we might not have had. Like, it's a lot that goes into who we admire and who we fuck with that we want on this platform. And the options are everywhere, but the scheduling is a motherfucker.
Right.
You know that if I could really say, yo, we film every Tuesday, we could make more money off of every episode.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Because people's management would be able to schedule that into their situation.
Right.
That's not what this is for.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I get it.
You see what I'm saying? That's not what this is for.
And that's what sets you apart.
We could do that on a fly day.
Right.
Let's get it done at glocawear. Let's be a part of your rollout. Let's make it make sense.
Yeah.
Now, once I vibe with your artist and I feel like I want to talk to him for an hour.
Exactly.
Because that's what we got to also, when it comes to media expertise, this is long form.
Yeah. Can they withstand?
Breaks. Yeah. You can't Yamin me to death.
We've been talking for an hour? Oh, wow.
Hour and 10.
Wow.
You can't, me to death for an hour.
Yeah, I'm
But when you look up and you say we've been talking for an hour,
that's
that means it wasn't that means
exactly. That's the move right there.
Oh wow, this was fun, y'all.
Are you playing my troubles?
It's over.
It ain't over yet, but I feel like there's a couple more things you need to tell us about yourself.
Okay.
Because Sal keeps making it sound like the list hasn't been tended to yet.
Okay.
So there's media.
There's media.
There's fashion.
There's fashion.
We didn't even get that deep into fashion though.
What do you want to know? Mainly my part in fashion is my marketing and promotion expertise. So my degree, like I have a dual degree.
I'm a marketing major.
Are you? Okay, so I
didn't graduate, but I'm marketing major.
No, I get it. It is what it is. You study marketing. Your marketing major is what it is.
I took both econs and all that, yeah.
Right. So I have a dual degree, and my degree is communications, arts, and sciences, and I had to have concentrations in both. So my art concentration was journalism. My science concentration was meteorology. And all of them can be a myriad of things. I just personally chose to only do meteorology on camera and television because I knew news media was my heart.
But your training is everything.
My training is everything. Like if I wanted to go work for NOAA, I could. You know, I just would choose not to do that because I also want to leave that to the respect of those who are like spending their lifetime in the research of doing that. But I could play a part. I could be their assistant. I could be a part of their producer.
That's about knowing that you could do things you're passionate about and not that you have to do things because you're qualified.
Right. Exactly. And leaving it to the people who do because I want to respect that. You get what I'm saying? Exactly. Listen,
they deserve that look.
Exactly. And I want them to have that, you know? So, but then on the journalism side, it's mainly like under communication. So communications can fall under anything. And I first got into it because there was Volkswagen went under a scandal, and it was their TDI scandal, and you remember that? And a lot of that was like my first time seeing
TDI
something.
was their coveted Fast and the Furious mobile.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
And that was like one of my first times seeing something so public and so worldwide actually affect something so close to me, where it was an actual company like, we need some help. We need these people in here because they were trying to gain the trust of their customers back. Now that particular dealership ain't have nothing to do with it, but it just goes to show how the domino effect can be real.
Yeah.
And so
the brand of it all.
Exactly. Yeah. And I
don't know how Subway's still out here, but go ahead.
No, for sure. And I was just, helping out in like some of their sales and their promotion, just using some of my communications. And their general manager came to me and was like, we need a way to get traffic in here. Do you have any expertise? And I'm like, yes. Didn't you see my resume when you hired me? And so I said, you know what? There was the B Expo with Radio 1 was going on.
Yes, I remember that.
I remember B.
And so I partnered Volkswagen of Piazza with the B Expo.
Okay.
And I started showing.
I do it different.
Yep. So I started showcasing cars.
Different demographic.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Smart.
And I started showcasing cars using my media experience to draw in the clientele, and that kind of spiraled into Nissan, and then now that's how I got into Saks.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, that's heavy. And if you ever
we're at 7 times that we said the same thing at the same time during this interview. We're at 7.
We've
said the same thing at the same time 7 times.
Did we? We do this all the time.
So when she said that, I was like, damn, do we really? I remember we did. I'm like, yo, like,
yes.
No, but you see how she's not worried about full circle no more. She's worried about counting how many times. Like,
I'm worried full circle.
She's a robot.
I'm doing it all right here.
You just gotta program her, and she'll spit it out
all the time. Like one of my biggest promos for our episode is when we say something the same time, and it was just like, oh my gosh, I don't know. We just
y'all been on the same, and that's what I'm saying. Like.
We do.
If, because a lot of people are intimidated by South.
I can see that.
Like a lot of people are probably intimidated by you.
I can see that.
Because South leads with love, But a lot of people aren't comfortable enough to do that.
Because Sai's also very, very real, and you're not going to just have a conversation with her over fluff. You know what I mean?
You're not going to light skin her to death.
You're not.
You ain't going to just tell her she's cute.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to be smart, but I mean, like, that's how people approach it. It's like,
right.
oh, she just want to hear that she pretty, and then da-da-da. And women do that to each other. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? I see it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when it comes down to somebody that I see sit next to her, and I see that y'all really understand a lot of the same things.
Yeah.
And from two different angles. Like, I know her growth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've seen where she came from. We know her legacy.
Yeah.
You said that you was raised by the Swartz.
Yes, Weather Dad, what's up? I can't wait to see him this clip. He is going to crack
You
up.
a Star Wars baby. You was raised by the Swartz.
Yes.
Do you understand what kind of like that's legend too? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And we from a city full of this, full of greatness and legacy. And like I said, my grandfather Martin Luther King to me, based on what he's done to his community, but he's never been able to have the opportunity that I have to be able to give his perspective to other young men on the scale that I am.
Absolutely.
On a public platform.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Same.
Like with his mentality, if my grandfather was somebody that wanted to use his pen or his tape recorder at the time or whatever have you, we'd learn so much from somebody like him.
Yeah.
So when it comes down to women like y'all, and y'all have an understanding that's beyond the
right
and all of that, something got to happen, man.
Yeah.
And I want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
I want to see y'all be great together, and I think that touching the streets is where it's at.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I think touching the streets is where it's at, man. I think that because I think that on some real shit, y'all could flip the whole thing. And I'll tell you just like this. This is the first idea. Y'all both got networks, right?
Right.
Let the other one interview the other one's network.
For sure.
Yeah.
Make it
simple.
Make it weird but perfect.
Right.
Make it weird but perfect.
You know what? We actually did that. It was so funny, and I don't even know. I don't think I brought this up to Sai before, except for now. But you remember, I had her interview a partnership that I was doing. You remember the location, right? Yeah. But that particular crowd was not used to having their brains picked, right? And it was so funny because, you know, they were so excited. It was like, who are you going to get for us or whatever? Because at the time, those people who are like that, exactly. And that's what happened. And people who are like that, it goes back to like talk about social media. Everybody saw about titles and names and popularity. And we were like, it was myself and another business partner that I had at the time. And we were like, we're going to get you a journalist in here because what the product that the person had was amazing. It, like, no shade on that. But you can tell they were not used to dealing with people who were... Exactly, and those who were actually really into the industry and going to bring hardcore fundamental journalism outside of a name or popularity that you've already seen or you've already known. So Sai walks in, and I remember you had your blonde pixie, which I love, by the way. She knows that's my favorite look on her.
I'm gonna go back to it.
Her blonde pixie, and she had on her all black and her red. And this situation was kind of like, it was a glitz and glam like industry or what have you. So she played the part. But when she sat down, and you could tell they thought that they were going, as you say, light-skin her to death. And they were like, oh my gosh, your hair. Oh my gosh.
No, I see it.
I can't wait. And Sai was sitting there like, yeah. So let's get started.
And she got the... No. And I'm going to tell you another thing.
Pen and paper and her recorder, okay?
I'm going to tell you what I think Sop has gotten from me. We ain't got but so much conversation before this tape start rolling. We're not gonna blow this conversation off camera.
Right.
Because people will try to get all the shit out the way before the shit's like, motherfuckers be strategic. You don't even know. They be trying to woo you in. You be like, oh, I fucks with you, but give me a second.
Yes. Do you remember that? Did you notice that at all?
I didn't.
Oh my gosh. So that just goes to show you, like, now we were just like, I mean, and they actually ended up doing okay, but Sai had to pull that out of them because you could tell they thought we were going to talk about, you know, just like very high level, very like fluffy topics. And Sai was like, no, we going to get to this.
Let's talk turkey. But, you know, like I say, I do the music, the radio shit. So I hate to say it like that. It sounds so blah, but that's not the point. Managers, promoters that line me up with artists, sometimes DJs, sometimes I'll get a call like, yo, these niggas think that they got it. They think they know it all. Grow.
Absolutely.
This motherfucker don't know how to interview. Make sure you make him talk. This motherfucker think that song is it. Make sure you let him know it's more than one record. Like, I get these cues from people when they book this time sometime. The artist is none the wiser. And on some real shit, 80% of the artists have fucking passed the test and survived. But I don't attack you either.
Yeah.
I'm also an
not
artist.
one of them.
So I'm not going to interrogate you. But I'm going to give them what they want, because if I don't, like, I'm kind of like a testing ground for some of them.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, they'll say specifically, like, he don't like freestyling. Make sure you start a cipher. Yeah. And you'll see me go 3 weeks without a cipher, and then you'll see me randomly do a cipher at the end of the show or some shit. It'll be because it was requested, but they don't know they people's told me to make them do it.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? Like, but it's that third party. It's that this platform is real. This is on a light level.
They in the real place though. Them rooms is real.
It's like you might not even see it as like being on Sway, but in this city, like you said,
and when it goes to the history,
not
only the city, but when it comes to the history and the culture of it all, glocawear,
and then when you dealing with somebody that's fair,
yeah.
You know what I mean? I done bailed niggas out. I'm not going to hate.
We did.
What we do?
That's the 8.
Number 8.
I'm messing with it.
But no, when you want somebody that's fair, because when it gets to a certain level, then it's all type of politics that come into play. If you come to me, it's none of that.
Right.
Yeah.
You might be getting lined up by your representation, but I'm not trying to line you up. I don't.
But you also, even when you do those type of things, like you still like.
I don't want us to lose.
You still do it like strategically, like you don't definitely don't. Right.
I'll teach you in a moment.
Right. Absolutely.
I'll teach you in a moment. I had a time where somebody was spitting, and he was freestyling, and he's not even from Philly, and they don't freestyle like that. But he kept trying to catch it, and he would give us 2 or 3 lines, and then he would, all right, hold up, and then he would do it again, and he kept doing it, and I'm like, I can't hate on that.
Shameless plug though. Next time you have a cipher, I want to be a judge. I've always wanted to judge a cipher. I do like.
I'm gonna tell you something.
I like watching ciphers and battle rap. I really do.
You're more than welcome to any fly day you want to come to. I'll make time for you on mine if they ain't got time on the fly girls. But I'm trying to set up quite a few networking events.
Okay.
Not necessarily set them up physically, like we gonna do ours, and I want to encourage people to do others, and we'll support them. I'm gonna need you.
Yeah,
some of these are going to include twists, such as judges and whatever. Have you. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But because like I'm not saying 50 people get to perform tonight and none of my shit.
Yeah.
But I want to bring the media. I want to bring the personalities. I want to bring the comedians. I want to bring we got politicians that fuck with what we doing.
I'm sure.
You see what I'm saying?
Shout out to Isaiah Thomas and his new initiative that he got.
Yeah,
we have a lot of people, but that's all our folks. So I just want to shout him out because he's been doing.
There's a lot of people.
Omar Sabir, absolutely. Kenyatta, you know my bro is Kenyatta for sure. Yeah. You already know. Like, Morgan Cephas. I mean, we can go down the list for real.
We really deal with them folks. So I want to create rooms. You know, there's going to be different rooms for different times, but I want to be able to find a time where everybody's able to see these is people that are like-minded, so we can stop making excuses.
Exactly. And just get to the business of it all. Like, let's just get down so we can all win. It doesn't always have to be, I'm better, you got to see me. Like, that's played out, to be honest. Like, let's just do what we do so we can have fun with it. Like, that's how Essence was created. That's how Vibe was created. That's how Ebony was created. You know what I mean? And look at them. Long lasting. That is longevity, and that's what we need.
You preaching to the choir. I done read about how Saturn was created, how Home Depot was created, how like Walmart was created. Like, they make you read these things when you a business marketing major.
I read them in school.
And Saturn would fix your eye view mirror when you went for an oil change. Because they didn't want Saturns riding around like that. They wouldn't charge you for it.
Exactly.
Do you understand what brand protection is?
Right.
I definitely had to say that.
Right. Do you understand what leveling up is, sacrifice is?
Right.
You know what I mean? You have companies that, what was it, Home Depot? One of the companies, they said, yo, if somebody returns something, we take it back.
Yeah.
And the motherfucker came back with tires, and they was like, we never sold tires before. They said, take them back.
Right.
Like, you don't understand what that mean. Like,
right.
And then we want to keep saying all this shit started out of barns and garages. All right, so that means none of them was up when they had to take the tires back.
Right.
Sometimes you got to take the hit for the greater good of the situation, and you got to understand, be intentional about what you're trying to create.
Right. Exactly.
And that's why I think the networking events have to come back. In 2019,
it's so much
the time
that
you
has
was
to come
talking
back.
about, it was the first time it was really looking crazy for networking events. Like,
Yeah,
they was weekly.
yeah.
And then COVID hit and everything shut down. So when things started opening, it was like, what can we make money off of?
You know why? Because right before 2019, at that time, you remember that period when everybody was eliminating third parties, and they didn't realize how important third parties were. You need that bridge. You need a liaison. You do, because everybody is not going to see eye to eye, whether it's in business or in person.
Yeah,
you know, you need that. And I don't know what was going on, but companies was just knocking them off like left and right, and everybody was like, well, I could just do it myself. And you don't realize
situations was doing it. Labels was across the
board.
Yes. So it was no reason to network. Everybody thought they can do it.
Yeah.
Until they found out otherwise.
Yeah.
I watched Empire with John Leguizamo. Hood movie.
Yeah.
He met the white boy. They was in the loft. It was the big party downstairs. The chicks in the tub naked. They laughing, saying, "We both married," looking at whatever. You know what I mean? It was like one of those moments, like, it's just, life is great. And he said, "So who are you?" He said, "Well, this is my thing." He said, "So this is what you do? You just throw these little events?" He said, "Well, these are a bunch of people that I work with, and I just put them in a room together and let them impress each other."
Exactly.
Wow. Yep. And that's what you need.
Absolutely.
He literally said, "I just put them in a room together and let them impress each." He's upstairs on a balcony, not talking to none of them.
Exactly.
Right. Listen.
He not even worried about if somebody need another champagne.
Yeah.
They are talking to somebody that they're impressed by, and they met him here.
Yeah.
We good.
Yeah. I
love it.
A slight sidebar, but not really, because it relates to the conversation. But I have two marriages that I'm actually proud of that I hooked up in my lifetime.
You the one.
And it would, I wish I was, because look what's going on with me. But anyway, that's a whole other story. It is.
They both got them. We just had this conversation.
Listen, she chilling. But I'm two marriages that I'm proud of, successful over 5 years, still going strong.
Can't say she chilling. Never mind.
Still going strong. And I literally did that. I put them in a room and let them impress each other, because I knew everyone, I knew who they were, and I knew what they wanted out of each other.
Pressure.
But
Can I ask you a question?
No pressure.
Never put me in a room. What's up?
Hold on.
Well, first of all, that was BC. Now, you know, people didn't change, honey. It's getting a little harder. Pickings are slim out these days.
Girl, who you telling?
This shit AC. No, but you took the pressure out of the situation.
Yeah, I did, for sure.
Because the hooking people up thing is like, because people don't realize this. If I tell you that this person is awesome and you'll be great with them, I'm gauging. You start gauging that person on, well, damn, if it don't work out, it might look like it's me.
Right.
Like, they're saying this person is awesome. Why I can't get along with this awesome person?
Right.
And how will I look in the person's eyes I really care about?
Right.
That is like, I hooked you up with the greatest person you ever gonna meet. And I'm like, well, I blew it. Like, nobody wants to be that one.
And it's all about perception.
Everybody either, right?
Yeah.
Like, it depends. But she knew at that moment, those two marriages, she already knew.
No,
yeah, and you gotta be perceptive.
You have to take the pressure out of it.
Yeah. You gotta know.
You gotta let them feel like they found each other.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, they did.
Right. Yeah, but she put them in the same
You
room.
know, she just gave
She made sure that it was enough to kill her. She made sure it was enough to kill it and enough tacos.
Yes.
So that both of them would stay.
The first one, it really was tacos, though. I lied to you not. I really did make tacos. I had like a little game night. It was hilarious.
I do this
you're
every
funny
time,
as shit.
I do it every time, Saf.
You are hilarious. But yeah, it definitely goes down to that. And I'm glad networking events are slowly but surely coming back, because we need them. Like, it's you. No. Like, you need someone. Everybody can't be a bridge. That's a talent. That's a gift in itself.
And every gathering can be based on a come up, or it'll make motherfuckers only go to shit that's superficial.
I swear.
Like, there's no point in trying to juice every situation. You should have something to balance out your day to day. Any bonus is a blessing. Any hustle is respected.
Right.
But everything you do can't be for me to come out my pockets.
Right.
Right.
$5, $10 for entry for a good environment.
Yeah.
Cool. $30 for your other situation, cool. Every joint can't be 30 to 70 fucking hours.
And stop taxing people and know your worth. If you know that you can
you got
do
a
hair,
list with 5
you
people
got this exactly. And even though we know that your work is cool, you gotta learn the game. Stop charging me $1,500 for something that you didn't seen Beyonce's hairstylist charge you for, only because you feel like you can do it the same way. You're not there yet, and let's be realistic.
How about show me an experience that I'm willing to
I need an experience.
For? How about give me an experience that I'm willing to keep supporting?
I need an experience.
Not because this one time you had Saf there, and you know what I mean? How about because when I went there, it was a vibe?
Exactly.
And I feel like the next time I want to go out, I want it to be a vibe.
That's the move.
Listen, I was just talking about that with my stylist. Shout out to Terrence, the stylist, because we were just talking about that. And when you go in his salon, I just told him, I said, I have never seen a salon in so long where it actually still had the hair salon set up, like the hair book. And everything. Remember that? You would go in the salon, you see the hair book, you look at everything.
We used to have the posters on the wall.
No, it was the hair book though. Hair gold. What was it? It was something with a gold.
Yes,
gold
it was gold. Yes, it was gold.
Solid gold.
Solid gold.
Yes, solid gold.
Another one too. But no, they
solid gold was the move though.
You could pick your haircut by the number on the wall.
Listen, the hair books, the bonnets. It's an experience. When I'm there, I feel like I'm at a salon. I'm so tired of going to people's
like the Bronner Brothers conventions. And
I remember my mom being in hair salon windows because she got that haircut one time and they posted the picture on the window.
You get what I'm saying?
She on Germantown ad for 8 months.
Right.
with the Holly Berry joke.
Yeah. So I mean, like you said, experience is definitely a thing, and people need to understand that. But the reason why I feel like we're being cheated is because there's so many people who just kind of had a shortcut because of social media, like what we're talking about, and they don't realize it. You know, like, oh my gosh, it's such an issue with, you probably understand this, with hairstylists these days and trying to book a hairstylist. Like, I hear so many people complaining about how hard it is to find a good hairstylist because now you got X.
Everything
you
is
can
glam.
Book people. Everything is glam. Everything is on Instagram. I do this. I do that. Don't realize they're showing their best work that they've probably done in 3-4 months. Yeah. Posting a picture and you go to them
all day.
Yeah.
How often do you post a picture of somebody like this?
Exactly. Right. And then you go to these apps and to these Instagram pages and you think you looking for an experience and you don't get it. It's everything short of that.
Yep.
And
it's a lot of entitlement.
Oh my gosh.
It's a lot of entitlement.
Oh my gosh.
Like a lot of this.
And taxing.
A lot of this, the price going up, booked and busy, is not based on what business is based on.
At all.
Like, you're just telling people that your price went up and they're supposed to accept that. That's like telling people that you're thick and we know that you're a balloon. Like, at the same time, you can get away with that. You can get away with that, but how far does catfishing get you? Right. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You can show me every angle you want to show me, but when I see you in person,
listen,
and I pay for dinner, and I feel like I'm gonna get my dinner's worth, but I'm not paying for a second one.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not playing games.
Oh my gosh, that actually
I got catfished and made the most out of it.
I witnessed that before. I did. It was such a sad situation. Somebody I knew catfished a crush of theirs, and
and she knew what she was doing. You know she knew she ain't know she looked like that.
It was, I can't go into detail, but
look like Janet Jackson pulled up looking like Freddie Jackson.
It was a situation like that. It was, and it was so funny because I never was able to run into the person that
you
they were supposed to meet.
You couldn't run interference in time.
Right, I couldn't run it.
You couldn't stop the train. The train was already chugga.
Oh, I feel bad, but I do. But it was so real, and it happened, and I know, and I never got a chance to speak to the person that was catfished because it was never talked about. But at the end of the day, we all knew what it was, and I just was like, "Dang."
I'm just hollering at the Friday reference.
We talking about catfishing.
I know.
Janet Jackson and
then can I just say, I don't hear the whole story about catfishing, but my cousin was dating a guy that she met online, and then she catfished him with another fake account to see what he was doing, and he fell for it. And then she wanted me to call him. I'm like, cuz I don't have the time to be doing no shit like this,
there's people that get $100,000 or better a year to do that kind of work.
Wow. This bitch trying to let me do it for free.
You gotta be a whole fucking no. You don't understand. There's chicks that do literal detective work, and then they have a whole team of chicks No, check from your page. Go to this page from your page. There's a network.
No, she made a whole nother page.
$250,000 a year if y'all focus y'all energy in the right direction.
She should be doing better because guess what? She got on a bite. She was like, and she's beautiful, girl. He loves her. I'm like, it's you.
I've had a beautiful homegirl of mine.
But it's her.
Show me another beautiful girl that her dude was fucking with. They were both bigger girls. But they were both bigger girls and they were both pretty. And her whole thing was, she not prettier than me, is she? Is she prettier than me? And it's like, do you realize the problem with him dealing with both of y'all has not to do with who's pretty?
Right. It has everything to do with what I was just telling you about. It has everything to do with understanding how heavy polygamy is about to get in this society.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
Well.
It's a lot of people that's engaged.
We can take it there. I'm ready.
Well, we do live in a society where men are outnumbered.
Okay.
We also live in a society where we see the numbers of fluidity running up.
Okay.
That's true.
Right?
Agreed.
But we're in a in-between point where women ain't even as on board as they think they are.
Right.
Like, let's keep it G.
Right. Okay.
If you found out that the nigga who just shook your man's hand and hugged him in the mall been there before, do you respect that man the same way as you did before you shook that man's hand?
What you saying? If the guy?
Right, I'm confused.
If a guy experimented before.
Oh, with another male?
With another man, okay.
Oh, that's what you said. That's why my eyes been big.
So,
I'm
like,
trying to
women make it look like men are the only ones that's not comfortable with certain things. But
I got you.
You respect a man. Like, all right, cool. We could be walking in the mall
Let's
together,
talk about it.
and you my woman.
Right,
and there's too
right.
many men happy to see you.
Okay.
It could be one man.
Okay.
I got
that
you.
shake and hug your man hand, and you like, we used to date.
Okay. I have a point to that.
I've never in my life thought about this shit. Wow.
I have. And it's actually a movie about it. It's called 10 Dates to something to 10 Dates is what Megan Good.
I was about to say, I know a homegirl that got a book that sound like that title.
Oh my yeah, it's called 10 Dates or something. You gotta watch it. Megan Good and Carrie Hilson is in it. I'm gonna text you.
Oh
yes,
the curly hair you told me to get my hair like.
Yes. That movie, it actually talks about it. And I mean, I do understand the hesitation for a woman to kind of lose a little bit of respect for a man that she's dating, especially if she's heterosexual. Specifically if she's heterosexual, to lose that respect where that's the person she thinks that she's dating. Because if we're going to talk about natural law and if we're going to talk about heterosexual couples, it's believed as the man, with you being first here on earth, you are meant to provide. And providing is not just financial. You are providing a stature when it comes to Exactly. And there is a certain standard when it comes to natural law. Even if you go to biblical reference or what have you, it even talks about how God will actually punish man more. Like, y'all have it hard.
But mind you, this isn't saying that it's right or wrong.
Right. But what I'm saying,
it's talking about historically where the mentality comes
from. And we're talking about how it's natural for a woman to actually think that way, and even more natural for men to think lesser or to feel less annoyed by it when they feel like a woman has compromised, in a sense, her sexuality if she has experimented.
Now flip that. Dig that. You cool with your gay bestie. I don't really have a problem with your gay bestie.
Right.
But I might not necessarily say he can smoke my weed with me.
I understand. And that's...
But you looking at me like I'm shunning him. If that was your man, you would look at him differently.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, friends,
like
but gay, so experimenting gay is too many different things.
No, but what I'm saying is, when it comes to being quote unquote in society, when we were just talking about historically, because I don't want people to get confused and think she's saying these are her beliefs. She's talking about the
you're right
of the shit. When you're talking about historically, to be a man is not to waver.
Right.
Is the simplest way I can say that. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a sign of weakness. Just as if, let's do it this way. I'm a street dude. You my woman. It's another nigga in the streets that wants you. He gets you. You weaken my position in the streets.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he got you.
Right.
That's why Hov said,
right,
if you slip up and hit her, you can get her.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because if I can't be attached to that no more, she for the streets. That's where she for the streets comes from.
Yeah.
Because my viability, I done shot motherfuckers, put out work, fed families and all that.
You out
and
here
you
got me
being
looking
weak.
crazy, right?
You being weak.
Right.
You're weak in my position.
Yeah, right, exactly.
It's
But there's so many
similar.
more stories to that.
Very.
There's so much more to that story, though.
But do you see what I'm saying? Like, I can't risk it.
Yeah, I get it.
Like,
if it's,
I literally,
if
I
it's
can
your course,
understand.
you want. That's
I can understand.
But
I can
it's
understand
right.
that you caught me fucking 20 other chicks. But if you didn't do it out of state, you compromise our income.
Yeah. Like,
I get that.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
I get that.
Like going
There's
back.
that weakness. There's always
that's
that
definitely a weakness. So in that position, like it's a different.
It don't take much
it's a
to
different
break it
action to
down.
be had. If you fucking with boy, you're not. I'm not over here. I get it.
Yeah.
It don't take much to break it down.
I had to think about my whole thought process.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you can't stick your pinky in it no more, the shit gonna break.
Right. No, for sure.
I could hide it. Even now, we seeing shit about Pac and Faith that's details we never knew before.
Yeah.
Right.
But when this nigga got on the record and he said, that's why I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker.
Yeah.
Everybody rushed,
felt that pain.
but everybody rushed to protect Faith.
Yeah.
Which
But
was
if you
odd.
look at it-
which was actually odd.
look
Because
at
most
it in
times
the art
females
of
don't
war-
get protected like that.
Because Faith wasn't, Faith's persona through Bad Boy, because Puff is a genius, was that she would never do that.
Right.
And Big loved
most-
Faith. Big loved Faith enough that he only said one line about it. If Faith had twins, she probably had two Pacs.
Yeah.
He left it alone because he
'Cause he
really
knew what he
loved
had.
that girl.
Yeah.
And he knew he fucked up. Like I said, if I fuck 20 other bitches, but when we in the same projects and you get that nigga on the next wing to pussy, they got the right to come over here and run my elevators.
Yeah.
And it might not be realistic,
Yeah.
but I'm going to have to deal with that.
Yeah.
For sure.
So once shots start flying, that's reality.
Yeah.
That's true.
What number we at? 8?
No, but do you see what I'm
No,
saying?
9. That was
Like
9.
Yes.
when you're in a position where everything is anything, and this is what I say about people valuing life.
Okay.
When all you have is pride, you'll die for it.
So
Yeah.
do you think
When
that
you have too much to lose, pride ain't enough to risk it.
exactly, and that goes back to what I was going back to the topic of bringing up polygamy and how I think that's definitely going to be common. And like I listened to a lot of polygamous couples talk, and that's one of the major things. It's like when you let pride get in the way, you risk so much more, not realizing the benefit of the lifestyle of actually living a polygamous relationship. And right now, 78% of single moms or single women here in America are black women? Or no, 78% of black women are single.
Well, I think part of that is structural. We know that.
Absolutely.
But when it comes down to it, in any relationship, what can you handle?
Right.
What are you built for?
You gotta be a realist about it, though.
I think the polygamy conversation in these last few years has gotten to the point of people not looking at it as if these people may need to function that way. That might be what's best for them, and thinking about if that's what's best for me.
Right.
And that's not fair, because it takes a strong man to say my woman could do this outside of me, as far as like.
But is that polygamy? Is that what that means?
No, I mean, I'm talking about
under the umbrella of polygamy. Yeah.
I'm talking like it's variations.
It is. So
see, I'm new.
It's variations.
So what he's talking about is
but it takes the same for certain women.
Right.
Like to respect somebody as a sister wife when you used to be in competition with women that have your man's attention.
Right.
I'm not belittling that neither.
Right.
Like this is something that you spent 40 years of your life thinking, and now we supposed to figure it. I'm not saying 40, but you know what I mean.
No,
like we put real time into being who we are, and sometimes we find something that's like, well, it wasn't really what I was looking for, but it makes sense. It's not for everybody else to say if they could do it or not.
Exactly.
I don't like that.
Right.
It shouldn't be about whether you could do it or not.
Exactly. It's just another way of life.
Is it against the law? Has the law caught up with them? Are you willing to tell on them because the law didn't caught up with them? Do you give that much of a fuck about their bedroom?
Yeah.
It's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
It's not your job. I'm telling you, people get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to do the shit that people do for free.
Yeah.
Motherfucker get 200 likes, 200 views to worry about some shit the law ain't worried about.
Well, let me ask you, how do you feel about polygamy?
I feel like to each his own. I feel like there's cultures that are based on that.
Right.
I feel like most cultures are not based on necessarily the religion that we, because the religion is based on the circumstance too. Geography affects everything.
Right.
Every book that has something about a form of diet is based on where their diet was derived from. Okay. What was available, what was in population, what was sacred.
Right. Would you entertain a polygamous relationship?
If it made sense to me at the time.
How about you, Sa?
If my woman was somebody to me, or we decided on somebody and it was like, you know what, this some fly shit we could do for now. But that's another thing too.
Right.
Some things are for now, some things are forever.
That's why I asked.
It's funny when you said that, because I heard your response.
Exactly.
On as if this
Can
is
you
what
live
we
your
have
life
to
like
do
this?
Forever.
Right.
That's not fair, because you gauging them on that. These motherfuckers, it's people that's viral on YouTube and all that. They got situations. They on islands.
Whole situations. Yes, they do.
They all sharing STDs and
Don't
people
say
watching. I know a specific situation.
I got you.
And people are watching. No, it's real.
No facts.
No, it's real.
Yeah.
And I know people that wake up every day and watch these people, but they would never do it. It's entertaining to know. And these people are making money off of being entertaining. These people, and they're able to live their lifestyle based on it. I'm not faulting nobody involved.
At all.
At that point.
How about you, Tom?
But if it's only 3 people, then that means somebody stepping out. If y'all sharing STD, that means y'all not all fucking each other.
No, that means that somebody might have came into the situation with something that we understood and was willing to deal with.
So, okay. All right.
There's levels.
So when you enter this, we should all like make sure we're good. But
no, I mean, I want everybody to be safe. But when we talk about what's on the internet, what's on Instagram right now,
what's really happening out
there,
like
this is a real situation that I'm referring to. Like I could reach out to the person that I know that follows them and see if they still on there. But like I've watched this shit.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? Like chopping up with my folks, smoking weed, and like, this is crazy. And she like, this is what I wake up to every day, because I understand the philosophy, although I don't agree with everything.
Right.
I get it.
Yeah. So I get it. I definitely wouldn't necessarily be against polygamy, but I think that it's something that like the person, like the male, has to bring a lot more to the table than just sex. And like it has to be some stability. It has to be.
What I know about where we come from is that in order to have multiple wives, you have to be able to sustain them.
That's what I'm saying. I was getting there. That's what I was getting at.
Sustainability.
So I'm not saying I would be against it.
But look at the flip side of that. Your dad used to pay me to take you off his hands.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I could get 3 goats, 4 camels, and an endowment to take you off a dowry, but an endowment, the financial part of it.
Yeah.
To take you off his hands. I could do that 3 times. I have 30 goats.
Right.
So you winning.
Let's go.
So you winning.
Right.
Like you really got.
Guess what?
Absolutely.
Being married before.
Did I say something crazy?
No, but listen. Guess what? Being married before, like I also see like there's. I mean, real like.
No.
There might be not
different times.
There might be times that you
educated in these times.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even going there.
The societal impact still exists.
I'm not even going there. I'm just saying, being married, there might be days that nigga, I just don't want you in my face anyway. So guess what?
So go ahead, fuck with her.
That.
Get out my face,
please.
So why are you mad at her if she's like, you know what? I know her. She's healthy. I get along with her. We can make Thanksgiving together. I've been in worse positions.
So I wouldn't be opposed to certain situations like that. I'm just saying. I'm not saying I'm like foregoing it. Like I'm like, oh, full charge ahead. But I'm just saying that I wouldn't be opposed to it. Like there's been times that
I don't like the outside input.
You just said it again. I'm not opposed to it.
Oh shit.
I don't like the outside input. I don't like the negative outside input.
Me neither.
When it comes to things, this ain't no our shit. This is grown-ups that decided that this lifestyle fits they whatever have you, even if that's a fetish.
Right.
If a motherfucker say, yo, there's billionaires, right?
Mm-hmm.
That will pay for the rest of your life if you spend 6 months with them.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
If this is for the moment,
guess what?
This is for the fucking moment.
It is what it is.
If we enjoy this time and nobody is scarred by it, who else gets to say that this
It's
wasn't
wrong.
our moment.
Right.
When have you ever spent the last 7 months on a mountaintop and flew back and forth to an island?
Right.
Yeah. When you spent the last 7 months just happy anyway, just chilling, doing you.
Right. And then it goes to the point
Getting
of like
your
how
mental
many,
health right.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
That's
Not
what I'm
having to
saying.
worry about
That's what I'm
your
saying. Just
check.
doing
I was
you.
about to
Just
say,
doing you.
Yeah, just doing you and like just realizing what you do for you works
I'm
for
not
you.
fighting that, yo.
Yeah.
You fighting too many fights. You fighting other people's mental health
I'm
and
not drinking no more fucking with y'all, though.
Absolutely.
and sexual lives. Like
not fucking with y'all.
that's too much. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers
Yeah.
is in the streets that I want to speak on certain shit and I don't speak on it because it's honestly not none of my business, even though it affects me more than these motherfuckers.
Right. Well, let me
I think
just
we
say,
gotta prioritize shit.
Right. Well, let me just say I'm not against polygyny specifically.
Okay.
Like I wouldn't.
No, that's the difference.
I don't think that I would necessarily mind having a sister wife. The circumstance have to be right, of course, but I'm not against it at all.
It's been interesting that you said polygyny because I actually had this conversation because you and I talk about this already, right? We talked about this.
Oh,
And so, no, not like
call me.
I hate you. I hate my bro. I swear. We talked about this. So I brought it up to one of my friends, and she was like, "I actually would like not mind having like 2 husbands, like 2 men."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Wow." So it's interesting that you like actually
But
like.
see, that goes back to
And I said, "Who could actually deal with it? Like, do they have to be brothers? Like,
That goes
yeah,
back
I
like-
personally can't do. I don't
What makes
want
a
2
man a
husbands.
man.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
And that's
Now,
what she said,
is
actually.
Also, right. Now it's a difference in that too because
and women like to use that as equivalent, but would you respect?
right. And I actually had that conversation
Is the
with
question.
someone before too, and we were talking about it, and I was saying my personal belief. I believe that polygyny it's definitely something cultural. I believe that polyamory is man-made.
Yeah.
Now, whether it's right or wrong, I'm not to say. But I wouldn't mind polygyny. Like I wouldn't mind having a sister wife, but I don't think I can handle 2. I don't want 2 husbands. And that goes back
Trust
to
me,
again, what would
neither
you
one of
allow as
y'all
a man?
will want 2 of me.
You know, I wouldn't be able to do one of
I
your
would
ages.
and mind you, the 2 of y'all
Because
would drive
we're-
me crazy.
but
I would much
we're
rather
both
deal
very,
with the 2
like-
of y'all
Yes,
than
yes.
I think y'all will want to deal with 2 of me.
You
I
know,
get you.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't
And
want
y'all
one
aren't
of
the
you
same
because you're
person.
a fucking problem.
Even though y'all agree on a lot of things, you're not the same person.
Of course.
Yeah.
We can never act like that.
No,
Of
for
course
sure.
not.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because your mood is based on your life. Her mood is based on her life.
Yeah.
We all come from different backgrounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the agreement has to be in if those people are comfortable,
Then so be it.
who are they hurting?
Yeah, as long as you're not in my shit.
Yeah.
Right.
I
If
think
the children
reason,
know they siblings,
let me tell you,
Yeah.
I think that the reason
That's
there's so
crazy.
much backlash is because I feel like a lot of people in society are afraid that it's going to seep over into their lives because secretly they're actually living it involuntarily.
Can I tell you? Can I tell
You
you?
get what I'm
Can I
saying?
tell you something even deeper than that?
What's up?
This country was fake based on the church. This has been another episode of Sippin' with Sammie, Sam Malone,
love him.
Barstool Rules. If you ain't sipping with Sammie, you ain't sipping right. Please get your fucking life together. Make sure you follow.
Of course, Shaneen Speaks. Shaneen Speaks. Shaneen at Saks. Those
Spell
are both
it.
of my
They've been
handles.
drinking.
Shaneen Shaneenspeaks. Shaneen Speaks, and then Shaneen at Saks is my name. Shaneen at Saks SAKS.
And you know, I am your girl, Sunny Brick, aka Sai. You can check me on the Scene magazine. You can still get this apparel. We're going to refresh it. It's the wintertime, and actually
Can't
in
wait for
Cali,
my new flavors.
we be
I got
refreshing
new
Cali and
colors
Vegas too. So you know, they've been like loving me out there. So
That's right.
Oh,
yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
big things them gwine.
All right, because it's already hoodie season all year round there. You know, nighttime get a little cool.
Yeah,
but
it's always chilly out there.
check
at
us out
night,
on
so.
thescenemagazine.com. That's where you can check the apparel. You can check I've been getting some hits while I was sitting here. All the dope information, some fly information, your resource, your access. Check me my fly girls every fly day on glocawear, the greatest station in the nation. We got happy hours on lock.
Smash.
Every Thursday, we got a total
Thursday.
Miss Wilson. You think about Miss Wilson?
Shout out to Lady Dowman.
Absolutely. But listen, you know, we already got all the happy hours. And my bro, whatever happy hour you got locked? Them fly days? What's up?
Flyboy Friday, Fly Team Friday Radio, man. 3 to 6, man. DJ Trell, DJ Nate G's, the logo, the ladies. Oh my God,
What
man.
else can you say?
We holding it down. It's the vibe that glocawear provides. It's happy hour shit. While you riding home from work, make sure you vibe out with some of the
Tune in.
dopest in the
Yes.
area, man. The dopest.
I'll be there.
We can't even play Drake on YouTube, so you know we playing exclusives. You need to get
It's
with the
definitely
exclusive.
exclusive. And yo, we be having that fire. Like, check us out.
Y'all, I'm so happy I came.
Nah, you'll be back. That's why I made it
sure.
abrupt. That's why I made an abrupt stop. Because I was like, you know what? They got this. They gonna get another one.
Yes.
They go out and get another one. But no, we good, man. Appreciate y'all. This has been, forever will be, Sippin' with Sammie, Sam Malone, Barstool, Rug. If you ain't sipping with Sammie, you ain't sipping right. Please get your fucking life together.
Yeah, boy.
Dally all you want, we're running. Trying to make clear the path. Focused on our surroundings. Feed the block or clear the air. Dally all you want, we're running. Trying to make clear the path. Focused on our surroundings. Feed the block or clear the air.
Lucky lefty, be sure you bet me. My hook mean, my slide dream. Eyes never clean, never clear, never stop roaming. I got forever fears, healthy paranoia, balanced by marijuana. Sleep been lost to trauma, up 10 years and counting. My brain storms while y'all snoring, never got sheep counting. But I fell asleep, counting type of shit you call slipping. Lazy eye, CBSN, them hits keep slipping, keep hitting. Uptown shit, might as well keep dipping. Four corners cover the board, I keep some kings with me, queens with me, the town too, the Ruben scene with me. If we can't figure it out, got the Yameens with me. With me, with me.
Dally all you want, we're running. Trying to make clear the path. Focused on our surroundings. Feed the block or clear the air.